well organised. And this is going to be and promising to be a very, very interesting game. I'm looking forward to this one. Of course, we've got Portugal later on as well. Portugal are going to be taking on Uruguay, I believe. So that's going to be a tricky game for them also. So we're going to be seeing the likes of Ronaldo. Of course, the big news, no Neymar today. Certainly, I believe this is the team news. It says that it's the team news. No Neymar. Neymar picking up an injury in his last game. I've actually got the image of his ankle because if you've not seen it, it's quite badly swollen. It doesn't look good. There you can see. This is breaking news. The bit of swelling, a bit of redness just around his ankle. That's the injury that Neymar picked up in his last game. Neymar, of course, expected to light up this tournament. He is expected to be the player of the tournament. And so it is significant that he is going to be missing today. So, yeah, people are saying, I was just like watching some reports, people are saying they're not concerned in Brazil. They've obviously still got the likes of Richarlison, they've got Vinicius Jr., they've got Rafinha, they've got Casemiro. Looks like Fred is going to be starting. Fred came on off the bench last time. Looks like Fred's going to be starting this time. And as we said, you know, they are such a fantastic team. They are such a fantastic squad. This is going to be a challenge. This is going to be a real tough game for them. But I still expect Brazil to just get the job done here. So I think they'll edge it. I think Brazil will edge it. It could be something like a 2-1. Might end up being a 2-0. But yeah, I am going to go with Brazil to get the job done. This is going to be fun, though. I'm really looking forward to this. OG Thunder Venom, shout out to you. Said prediction, I'm going 4-1 Brazil with a Richarlison hat-trick and Neymar screamer. Well, I don't honestly don't even know if Neymar's named on the bench. I don't believe he is. I don't think he's going to be an option for them at all in this game. So no Neymar. So you might have to reduce your prediction down to the 3-1, bud. But even so, that would still be a great result for Brazil if they were able to achieve that. This, as we said, Switzerland, really difficult team. They knocked out France in the Euros. They knocked out France in Euro 2020. They held France. They were able to get them to penalties, and then they beat them on penalties. In Jan Sommer, they've got a really good goalkeeper. And obviously we know about Granit Xhaka, how well he plays as well. Like there's some decent players in this Swiss team, but I think what's so good about them is their ability to play as a team. Defensively, they're very hard to break down. You sort of know what you're going to get from Switzerland. All about the team, not so much about the individuals, but the kind of team that just constantly frustrates bigger nations, and I think they will frustrate Brazil here as well. So South Korea's manager just picked up a red card. Do you know what? I haven't seen much of that game. I know that it was full of goals. 3-2 it ended. So 3-2 to Ghana in the one game. In fact, there's been tons of goals today. Tons of goals. I think we've had about 11 goals. So we've had Serbia and Cameroon in a 3-3 draw. And this team news is confirmed, by the way. They're just putting it up on screen. There is no Neymar. So Cameroon, Serbia, 3-3. And Ghana, South Korea. Ghana winning 3-2, which is amazing. Let's have a look and see what that means for the standings. So South Korea and Ghana are in the same league as Portugal and Uruguay. This is going to be really interesting, you know, because if Uruguay could beat Portugal tonight, if Uruguay could beat them, all of a sudden then Portugal find themselves in a little bit of a precarious position. They then find themselves where Uruguay would be on 4 points, Portugal would be on 3, Ghana would be on 3, South Korea would be on 1, and then, you know, Portugal would really have to get a result in that final game. But yeah, here we are with quite an interesting looking table, quite an interesting looking group in Group H. Let's turn our attention back to Brazil. So Brazil are top, of course. Brazil are top They've got 3 points. Switzerland are second. They've got 3 points. They were, of course, victorious in their first game, Switzerland. Cameroon and Serbia are both on 1 point each. So Cameroon and Serbia on 1 point each. It's looking pretty good, to be honest, for Brazil. If Brazil get a draw here, they're not through. A win puts them through. But if they get a draw here, they're not through, but they're still looking pretty good. They would have to get something from that final game. But a win here means that Brazil are definitely through. And actually, a win here, I think I'm right in saying, would mean that Switzerland are definitely through. So a win for either team here would be absolutely massive for Brazil and Switzerland. So this is the game we got coming up. This is in Group G. Don't know. I mean, like, it feels pretty good for Brazil, to be honest. I mean, they were very convincing in their first game. This, I think, will be tricky, but I expect them to get 3 points. And as we said, the game later as well, that should be fun, what with Portugal taking on Uruguay. Portugal are 9th. Uruguay are 14th. Like, Uruguay could absolutely get something out of that game. Absolutely get something out of that game. And if they do, that's going to make this group so interesting. Like, I know there's going to be a lot of support for Ronaldo, but it would make this group a lot more interesting if Uruguay get the win later. So that's later. We'll worry about that later. Right now, we're going to be watching number 1 in the world take on number 15 in the world as Brazil take on Switzerland. So no Neymar is the big talking point. Brazil 3, Switzerland 2. It's going to be Festival of Goals today, said Easy99. 3-0 to Brazil, says the game. Bacon Plays said, what's your prediction on this match? I'm leaning 2-1 Brazil, maybe 2-0. I think Brazil will get the job done. Again, I have to keep repeating myself like a broken record, though. Do not underestimate Switzerland. You know, if you are someone that doesn't really watch much football, I could totally understand you coming into this game just expecting Brazil to win this 4-0, 5-0. And, of course, they could. They've got the quality to do that. But Switzerland are very well organised. They're a very good team. Like, to beat Switzerland is difficult. Like, if you get a result against Switzerland, you've done very, very well. So, for Brazil to come here and get a result would be seen as very positive. It would be something that would be seen as, you know, a good achievement. They are, of course, expected to get the win, but this is one of the harder groups one of the harder games in this group. Just going to have a look, see at what some of Switzerland's results have been this year, just to give you an idea. So, Switzerland in 2022 have beaten Cameroon 1-0 at the World Cup, obviously winning their first game. They did lose their warm-up game to Ghana, but I honestly don't know who was playing in that. But they did lose that for all transparency. But in the Nations League, they beat the Czech Republic 2-1. Switzerland beat Spain 2-1 back in September. Switzerland beat Spain in the Nations League. Switzerland also beat Portugal. They beat Portugal in June of this year 1-0. They beat They beat Spain 2-1. They did lose to Spain and Portugal as well this year, so 1 win each between those sides. They lost to England 2-1 back in March. They beat Bulgaria. They drew with Italy 1-1, which is a really good result. Beat Lithuania. They, in the Euros, went out to Spain on penalties, but as we said, I mean, that's amazing in itself, isn't it? They managed to knock out France and go through on penalties. And then their very next game, they managed to take Spain to a draw. And then, unfortunately, they went out to Spain. So they did go out to Spain in the Euros, but it was only penalties that did it. And they went out, they managed to knock out France. They managed to knock out Turkey. They drew 1-1 with Wales. Like, this is a good side. This really is a good team. So this should be a really entertaining game. This is one that sort of jumps out when you look at the group stages for Brazil. This is one that I had down as their toughest challenge. Hello, Days. I hope you are doing well, said Tharuka. I'm good. I hope you're well. 1 Minute Wrestler said, I've gone 4-0 Brazil. Tharuka said Japan Ghana was an incredible game. Maybe my favourite game so far, says Tharuka. Ghana are looking good. 2 goals against Portugal and beating South Korea 3-2. People saying hello. Brazil are going to win the World Cup, says Triple A. Looks like the Swiss are in good form, said Tharuka. Jilly said, I'm looking forward to the Portugal game. That is my nationality. I think Brazil runs away with this game. Beating Spain, Portugal, Wales, Italy means it's really good. Jay says 5-0 to Brazil. Gregor, hello. Hope you are well. Shout out to you. Yeah, they're just showing at the moment highlights of the earlier games. Of course, we haven't had a chance to watch those. But if you did, I hope you enjoyed them. You definitely saw plenty of goals. So Ghana winning 3-2. That's a lovely lob in it. Look at that. That is such a cheeky lob. But yeah, 3-2 to Ghana beating South Korea and Serbia 3, Cameroon 3. So we've had, as we said, 11 goals today. Is that going to continue into this game? I certainly hope so. And I think there's a good chance that it will. Daz thinks it's going to be 6-0 Brazil. Jeez. Ghana will be a threat in the round of 16, said Harris. Where are we looking for Ghana in that round of 16? Let's have a little look. So at the moment, they're second. They're sitting pretty good. So they're sitting pretty good. But obviously, if Uruguay get a win, then Ghana will slip to third. I don't know how likely it is that Uruguay get a win in the game against Portugal. It could be a draw. Portugal, of course, could edge it. But Ghana are looking good. Ghana are looking good. But as we can see, South Korea, Uruguay, they're not out of it at the moment. So to be honest, as I said, I don't want Portugal to win later because I really want this to be an interesting group. And at the moment, like, all the teams are still in contention. So I don't really want Portugal to run away with this group. So let's see if Uruguay can do something. They're a decent side. They are a decent side. One of the things that we've been doing, and I've really enjoyed doing it, you know what I'm about to say, is having a little read of these player guides. I think, like Switzerland, we can have a read of Switzerland. Again, just to, bring people up to speed with this Swiss side. So Yakin has been able to build on the foundation, and their strengths are that this generation that won the Under-17 World Cup in 2009 are now in their peak years. And players such as Akanji and Mbolo are in fine form. Their weaknesses is that 3 of their 4 goalkeepers have had injury problems, and the decision to take only 2 recognised fullbacks could backfire. So that's where they are from a weakness point of view. But let's have a look and see what they're saying. So the national team, called Natty back home, have gone about steadily closing the gap on the world's best teams over the past decade. Some of the most important players, such as Granit Xhaka, Ricardo Rodriguez, Seferovic, won the Under-17 World Cup in 2009. They now make up the spine of this team, with players who reached the Euro Under-21 final in 2011, including Sommer and Shaqiri. Switzerland have been remarkably consistent in qualifying for major tournaments, only missing one, and that was Euro 2012 in the past 16 years. They have started to qualify for the knockout phase on a regular basis of late as well, reaching the last 16 in 3 tournaments in a row before taking that one step further and making the quarterfinals at Euro 2020. They came back from 3-1 down against France to beat the world champions on penalties to reach the last 8. They also took Spain all the way to penalties, but sadly this time lost. However, it shows how close they have come to the very best in the world. There are strong individuals in this team, like Xhaka, Shaqiri, Sommer, Akanji, Ebolo, but Switzerland's success is down to the collective. We don't have Ronaldos and Messis in this team. We only function when we play together. Playing against us is very uncomfortable. So the Swiss play dominant possession-based football, and they've made a few adjustments in recent times. The team now tries to be more unpredictable and at times play quite a direct style of football. Switzerland finished ahead of Italy in the World Cup qualifiers with a little bit of luck and have been in the Nations League top division since it started in 2018. They go into the World Cup full of confidence, although niggling injuries to players such as two of the goalkeepers, as well as a few defenders, are a concern. So, Switzerland, very interesting side. And as we said, it should make for a very fun game. I think we did read about Brazil last time. Let's have a quick refresh here. So, the emergence of a talented new generation of strikers means that Brazil come into this with a lot of confidence. The 2019 Copa America, they didn't have Anthony, Rafinha, Vinicius Jr., Gabriel Martinelli. They were just starting to train, but now this generation has really arrived. And wow, the progress these players have made allows Brazil at times to attack with a front five. At the start of last year, they were not aware of Rafinha, but the Brazilian scouting team alerted the national coach to the Leeds forwards, and he is now set to be a starter at Qatar. Add to the players the likes of Richarlison and Neymar, who will be, favourites in this World Cup, and it's clear Brazil are spoilt for choice. So there we go. Bit of a read of Brazil. I think we know Brazil. Switzerland is the one that's more interesting, and as we said, should be a fun game. I used to support De Bruyne and Belgium back in 2018, said Harith. Belgium aren't on their best in 2022. Things change. Easy99 said Cameroon goalkeeper Anona actually could be dropped before the games against Serbia by the coach after an argument that Anona doesn't want to change his style of play. Now he leaves the squad and doesn't come back. Is that true? Cameroon goalkeeper has walked out, has he? Nana. What's your name? Oh, Nana. What's your name? 5 hours ago. Removed from Cameroon World Cup squads. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? Cameroon's number one goalkeeper, Andre Onana, what's your name, is removed from their World Cup squad after a shouting match with his manager over goalkeeping styles. Despite Samuel Eto'o stepping in to conduct peace talks. Goalkeeper Andre Onana has been removed from the Cameroon squad. It reportedly came after a shouting match with the manager. He was replaced by Devis Epassi, who conceded 3 in the 3-3 draw against Serbia. The game was hailed as an unexpected classic and game of the tournament. So that's pretty fun. These are like really weird little stories. Didn't Roy Keane do that? I remember Roy Keane walking out on Ireland as well, because he got into a shouting match with the Irish manager. Keane walking out. So I am aware of us seeing it happen before, but it's really unusual, you know. Inter Milan goalkeeper dropped by Cameroon for refusing to adjust style of play. That's mental. Easy99, shout out to you. It's scary how good Ghana is, says Harith. Spencer says, how on earth is Fred starting in midfield over Bruno from Newcastle? Good player. I mean, they've just got such incredible depth. Yeah, they're just sort of spoiled for choice, really, aren't they? a true test. Put Ghana against the best. Ghana versus Portugal should happen, said Harry. It did happen, said Bacon. Bacon plays. Too many matches to keep up with. There's lots going on, isn't there? There's lots going on at the World Cup. It really is an exciting tournament. And obviously, as of tomorrow, things become a lot easier to follow because as of tomorrow, that is when the groups play at the same time. So tomorrow, we will figure out Group A and Group B. The games go up a level tomorrow with their importance and their consequence, because of course we're going to start seeing the teams that go through and the teams that definitely go home. Of course, we've got England tomorrow, we've got Wales tomorrow, we've got the United States tomorrow, we've got Netherlands tomorrow, we've got Ecuador tomorrow, we've got Senegal tomorrow. What we're going to do is we're going to have it set up just for one game, so don't be put off by that. It'll say one game because I thought if I was trying to put like 2 games on, it might just get a bit confusing. We'll put one game up. That will be the game I have on TV, but the other game I will be watching as well. So regardless of the group, we will be watching both games. So the thumbnail for Tuesday might say England versus Wales, but we will definitely be watching USA and Iran as well. So yeah, that's what we're doing for the final group games. They all start tomorrow. So it's so exciting. So exciting. Tomorrow, we're, getting closer, like 24 hours away, and we'll start to decide some of these groups. And obviously, we'll then know. We will know by the end of tomorrow, not only who has gone through out of England, Wales, Iran, United States. Like, we will know the 2 teams that have gone through, but we will also know their opponents in the next round, because their opponents in the next round, regardless of whether you finish first or second, the opponents come from Group A, and Group A also concludes tomorrow. So, yeah, we'll get some big answers. We'll know what side of the... Oh, God, it's going to be so exciting. We're going to know what side of the draw that people are going to be on. We're going to know who their next opponents are. We can... Then, obviously, as the tournament progresses, start to fill out the knockout rounds so that we can really get an idea as to how the tournament is going to progress. And, we'll get a good idea of, well, if that team beat that team, they then play that team or that team. And then if they win that, it'll be that team, playing that team, winner will play that team. Like, we'll be able to work the whole tournament out. And it'll give us a much better idea as to who's going to play who, what's USA's route if they get through, what's Wales's route if they get through, what's England's route if they get through, blah, 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 right? So super exciting. So that all starts tomorrow. Like, everything up until this point was just about getting points, just about being in contention for qualifying, maybe qualifying if you could win your first 2 games and other results went your way. So it's all been about that, but now as of tomorrow, like, goes to a different level, man. I'm so excited. What's the biggest game tomorrow? Well, I mean, it depends who you support, doesn't it, really? I mean, they're all big games. Qatar are out, so they're out, and I believe it's Qatar against Netherlands. So Qatar against Netherlands, you've got to think Netherlands are going to win that. So we will be watching that, but I feel like it's probably Ecuador-Senegal that's more important, because I think that will decide who the second team is that goes through. So will it be Senegal? Will it be Ecuador? Who's going to be the other team to go through? Netherlands, I think, are pretty much there. We know Qatar are out. So that's Group A. So I would say that Senegal and Ecuador is the bigger game. It's not really the sexy game. I don't know if it's the game that's going to really grab people's attention, but it's a very important game because winner of that should go through, and they will play, someone from Group B, which is the England, Wales, USA group. So that's Group A. And then Group B is England against Wales and USA against Iran. I mean, it's massive for England. England want to top the group. Obviously, we're still not 100% through. But we want to top the group, so we want to get the win. We want to make sure it's in our hands. Don't want to do anything stupid. We obviously want a bit of a response from that kind of lackluster performance against the USA. So, I'm so excited for that game. Obviously, Wales are going to give everything and more, because this is them on the verge of crashing out of the World Cup. So they're on the verge of like crashing out, and so they are going to do everything they can to get a win. So that game's going to be spicy. And then if you want to talk spicy, geez, USA and Iran. I mean, those two teams are battling to try and get through as well. Neither side has got through yet. So I think I'm right in saying if USA win, they go through. If Iran win, they go through. If either side wins, it's winner takes all, basically. Add in like the fact it's USA and it's Iran, right? And so you've got like the political tensions and history that's there as well. And then add in, I don't know if you saw, but apparently there was a tweet that went out from USA. They sent a message out, and it had the flag of Iran, and I don't know if they edited out the image in the center, which I believe is, like, it's really important, of course. I think something to do with the fact that it's Islamic State run, and if you take that, you're kind of removing the Islamic State part of Iran. So, like, to show a flag that doesn't have the image in the center of it is, obviously quite controversial. And apparently USA did that. They sent a message out that didn't have the whatever, I don't even know what it is, but whatever's in the center of their flag, that was missing. And some people have perceived that as being a political statement. Don't know if it is, don't know if it isn't, don't know if it's a mistake. Genuinely don't know. I mean, I would feel like you should know what the flag looks like if you're going to play against them. Like, I feel like a quick search would give you that answer. So it's sort of hard to see it as a mistake, but I honestly don't know what the USA are claiming that it is. Iran were very upset about it, and they got in touch with FIFA over it, and they feel disrespected over it. And it's just ramped up the pressure and the hype just that little bit more. So, yeah, it's a big game. I mean, I feel like, it depends who you're supporting it. If you ask someone from Wales, they're going to tell you the biggest game is England-Wales. If you ask someone from England, they're going to say it's England. But I feel maybe from a worldwide perspective, I feel the biggest game might be USA-Iran. It's just got plenty of fireworks involved in it, and some of them which might help the game, and some of them that I don't think help the game at all. Don't want to see like the political stuff coming into it, dude. There's enough of that. Like, we could have avoided that part of it. We didn't need to go down that road. So if it was a political statement, I think that was misjudged. But if it was a mistake, then, a mistake's a mistake. So, but yeah, it's adding spice. Daz said there's rumours going around that Bellingham's going to be dropped and Henderson will be in. That's fine. Whatever he wants to do. I've said in Southgate, I trust. Like, whatever Southgate wants to do, he gets so much data on opposition teams. He will get recommendations. It's not just Southgate that sits there and like decides what's happening. We spoke about this in the Euros. Like, St. George's Park has got an incredible data analysis suite, which I think has to be credited with how England have managed to do so well recently. So, yeah, like, Southgate deserves praise, but we were talking about how St. George's Park has been a big step forward for the English national team, and it has. Opened up about 10 years ago. And if you think about what we saw at 2018, what we saw at the Euros, England look like they're very likely to get through this group. Looks like they might be getting to, a favourable next round opponent. Maybe they get to a quarters, maybe they get to a semis. We're seeing some real tangible results from this England team. And some of that, I think, has got to do with this data analysis that gets done at St. George's Park. They will have looked at all of the opponents. They will have prepared for all of the opponents. And so if he thinks that Henderson is the right person to play, then so be it. And don't forget, he's training with them as well. Like, there might be some tired legs. It might be a case that someone just needs to sit out. I mean, I sort of feel like he might need to rest Harry Kane. Harry Kane doesn't look as sharp as what you would expect. Like, if he was to sit out for one game, like, this would be the game to sit him out. He's very good with his link-up play, of course. But Callum Wilson's a wonderful player. Callum Wilson's been on fine form in the Premier League, and you've got to trust in your squad. So, yeah, if you lose Kane, does it hurt? Sure. Is it a gamble? Sure. But England are almost pretty much guaranteed to go through. I think they've only got to lose by 4 goals to be eliminated. I can't see them losing by 4 goals. I can't see Wales beating England 4-0. Wales might beat England, but I don't think it'd be by 4. And if it was, that's got nothing to do with Harry Kane. Nothing to do with Harry. If we lose 4-0, then we've got bigger questions around our defence than we have around Harry Kane up front. So I think that I'd be tempted to go with some changes. I'd be tempted to drop Harry Kane and give him that rest and just make sure he's sharp. Make sure he's sharp for the next round of games. So just it is worth mentioning because you lot obviously are playing the fantasy game. If you are playing the fantasy game, don't forget tonight you need to make your changes for the final round of games. And just a little warning, if there are any teams that have already gone through, they might rest players. Just be aware of that. You might look to bring in some big names. And as we said, they might rest players because you do see that sometimes from the bigger nations. If they've already qualified and they can give a player a rest before the knockout rounds begin. Because could you imagine, they've already qualified. You play, let's say France have qualified. They play Kylian Mbappe. He takes a knock and then he gets an injury and is ruled out. And he gets an injury in a game that he did not need to be playing in. So, you have to factor that into account. And England aren't quite in that position, but they're not a million miles away. So just bear that in mind for your fantasy games. James said Portugal's Pereira is out. He broke his ribs midweek. Ooh. James, shout out to you. Through said USA getting personal. Well, someone on their social team, I think, maybe making a mistake. Is maybe or getting personal, stirring up trouble. It's certainly not come from the US actual team. To be honest, I don't think they would want to wind up Iran anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's already winner takes all. It's already a very tense situation. So I don't think you'd want to add fuel to that fire. But it does make it more spicy. Easy99 said Onana style of play is to play the ball outside the box by risking leaving his net empty. Meanwhile, his defenders cover him. He was doing it against Switzerland. Good information, Easy99. I appreciate it. Rotem said, today has been goals galore. It has 11 goals, and obviously we've still got Portugal and Brazil to come, so it could be quite the day. Harry said, luckily, Raw starts at 6 for me, so I can stay up late. Bacon Plays said, I hope Brazil, Switzerland is similar to Cameroon and Serbia and South Korea, Ghana. I want a goal fest. Kian, shout out to you. Portugal's Pereira ruled out. Onana style of play is play the ball. Read that. Difficult match, but I think Brazil take the dub 2-1. Said Victor. Yeah, I'm in agreement. I said 2-1, maybe 3-1 if the Samba vibes are flowing. Maybe they can just increase that cushion a little bit more. But, tricky little game. We did look at Switzerland's recent results. And I think they sort of took a few people by surprise. I must admit, I'd forgot some of them as well. But to have a victory over the likes of Portugal, have a victory over the likes of Spain this year, and, of course, take France to penalties, knock them out of the Euros, take Spain to penalties, almost knock them out. But Sadly, they couldn't get the penalty shootout win in that occasion. It just shows how difficult Switzerland are going to be. Michael said, "Are you streaming all the games tomorrow during to be the last round? Are you streaming NXT?" Yes. Yeah, we're doing all of the games. The only thing I would say is obviously we're having to watch 2 at the same time, so I'm fully prepared for that to be a challenge. We've obviously done plenty of streams where we've had to watch a few things at the same time. I think during the Olympics, I even had 3 things on at the same time. I remember there being the BBC coverage, and then I had 2 laptops in front of me. So for the Olympics, I was watching 3 different things. But tomorrow we will be watching the 2 games that are on at the same time. And for Group A, and the 2 games on at the same time for Group B. It's going to be a little tricky because I can totally imagine I'm watching one thing and, clearly something is going to happen in the other game that I'm going to miss or whatever. That's the problem when you're trying to watch 2 games. But, yeah, we will be. And then, yes, we are doing NXT on the night. And I'm recording the Wrestling Escape Pod. That'll go up on Wednesday. So there's... lots. We've got obviously 2 games today. We've got Raw tonight. Tomorrow we've got 2 games recording the Wrestling Escape Pod, and we've got NXT on Wednesday. We've got 2 games. You'll be able to watch the Wrestling Escape Pod, and we've got AEW. Then on Thursday we've got 2 games. Friday I think we have 2 games as well, and of course we've got SmackDown. And then Saturday is just a horrific day. We've got 2 games. We've got Fury against Chisora, and we've got UFC after all of that as well. And then on the Sunday, I think I'm right in saying there's another 2 games. I actually don't know how long this 2 games thing goes on for, but I think we go straight out of the groups into, I'm sure we said, the 2nd of December is the final round of group games, and the 3rd of December is the first round of knockout games. So... yeah, it's going to be pretty intense. It's non-stop, but it's been a lot of fun. Days, have you heard Qatar is taking shots at Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey? No, what's been said? What's been said, Kian? Easy99 said, Nkunku signing with Chelsea. He will join them after the season is over. That's a very good signing, isn't it, for them? Very good signing. That's a very, very good signing. Obviously, we've seen people come from the Bundesliga and struggle. We've seen people come from the Bundesliga and shine as well. But it does feel like a good signing, that. Nkunku is someone that Ralph Rangnick was... do you remember? I think he went to Man United's scouting department and said, "Can you tell me what you've got on Nkunku?" And they had nothing. He was not on Man United's radar. And he was absolutely shocked that there was nothing there from their scouting system. So, there was that was a story that came out. I remember when, I don't know if Ralph had just left and that story came out, but I believe that was over on Nkunku. Prediction for Portugal and Uruguay. Draw. I'm going to say 2-2. I actually think that's going to be really tricky as well. We've got 2 really fun, close games that I don't think are the easiest to predict, to be honest. So yeah, I'm gonna go with 2-2. Easy99 said WWE is going to hold a major show in India in January. It will include both Indian and non-Indian superstars. Has that been announced? I've not seen this. Have they? Is it a house show or something? WWE India. Major show. WrestleVotes said, I'm told there was chatter at Raw that there could be an international live event on January the 18th or 19th. No word on if it'll be for TV or not. Drew has been vocal about bringing WWE to India and has spoken about even petitioning as hard as he did to bring the live experience to the UK. Simultaneously, WrestleVotes posted about the possibility of a live event not too long ago. Sportskeeda has learnt the event is slated to take place on a grand scale in Hyderabad. The roster will comprise of Indian and international stars. It's expected to be January 18th. I've got to think that won't be a premium live event, you know. I've got to think that won't be. I've got to think that's going to be just like a house show because the Rumble is not that far away. I don't know that you do a big international show that close to the Royal Rumble. So that's really interesting. That's really, really interesting. 55 million people in India alone watched WrestleMania. The fan base there is loud and expressive. They deserve an event, and they have done for a very long time. I agree with that. So, well, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see as to whether it does become a premium live event or not. I'd have my doubts, to be honest, because of it being... so close to the Rumble. But honestly, never say never. Never say never. What's your score prediction for the match and also score prediction for Portugal? I'm going to say 2-1. Brazil beats Switzerland. And I'm going to say 2-2 Portugal and Uruguay. So 2-1 here and 2-2 in that other game. Hasib said, if England somehow lose by 4 goals and go out of the World Cup, will you be fuming? I genuinely don't know. I don't know if I would be fuming. I would be very disappointed. I think I would be fuming if we were making stupid mistakes and we'd thrown it away. But if Wales just play amazing football, just absolutely, like, there's just nothing we can do. They're just playing like Brazil. They're playing like Brazil from 1970 or something along these lines. And, like, you might just have to go, do you know what? They deserve that. It might not be a case I'm fuming. You might just have to go, they were the better team. They just absolutely smashed us. I don't think I can see it happening, though, so it's kind of hard to know how I will react to that if it was to happen, because I would need to see it first and know what the situation was. But if it was just mistake after mistake, you know, goes like Pickford makes an error, then Maguire falls apart and blah, 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 then I'd be fuming, yeah. Give it to Cavani, pass him the ball, watch him score, says Rotem. Michael said it's you're busy tomorrow. You signed up for it. Yep, no complaints from me. No complaints from me. Daze doesn't get fuming. His demeanor is calm and cool. Honestly, I'd have to wait and see. I mean, I feel like I would just be disappointed. But we'd have to wait and see. It's probably going to be held in the cricket stadium, the India one. Yeah. I think they do have other stadia there, but some of their cricket grounds are absolutely massive, aren't they? And Anxo said, what club do you think Ronaldo signs for? Well, apparently there's a big juicy offer on the table from Saudi Arabia, and so it's believed that that's where he might be going. I don't know what the club odds. I don't know what the bookmakers have got. Let's have a look. Ronaldo odds checker. Let's have a look at odds checker. They've got Chelsea, but I think Chelsea have already come out and said no. I think Chelsea have already sort of ruled themselves out. I mean, they're on the verge of signing on Kunku. Cristiano Ronaldo. Here we go. Gary Neville makes prediction on his next club. Gary Neville thinks Ronaldo will play for one of Europe's top teams. Ronaldo feels betrayed. Neville says he could go and play a quick cameo for a Champions League side. I think Ronaldo is going to be looking for a top club. On a 4 or 5 month contract where he can go in and do a brilliant cameo at a very top elite club. So, yeah, I mean, he's potentially going to go to a Champions League club for the end of this season. Just see if he can add to his Champions League appearances and his Champions League goals. And then maybe he moves on. I mean, depending, obviously, how that goes. If he does really well, maybe they'll look to keep him. If it doesn't, then Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia are apparently moving in. There was an article I just wanted to read, which was about him naming his price. It's just next club options. Next club. Let's click on news. Gary Neville suggests Ronaldo's next move will be to a top European club. Here it is. Cristiano Ronaldo told to name his price for mega money move. Saudi Arabian side Al Hilal have told Ronaldo to name his price, and so that he can move to the super rich Middle East. With football in the country on a high following the shock World Cup win over Argentina, and with links to the Premier League via Newcastle, Al Hilal want to continue the feel-good factor by luring free agent Ronaldo to their club. The 37-year-old, whose Man United contract was ripped up as he reported for World Cup duty with Portugal, is believed to be interested in continuing his football in the Middle East, especially with little interest so far from leading clubs in Europe. Al Hilal attempted to sign Ronaldo last summer, armed with a staggering contract worth around 300 million. Money will be no problem for Saudi Arabia, anxious to make a huge impression on the sporting world. Look to make Ronaldo the face of their domestic football. There was another one as well about like MLS, but I think, to be honest, that was more Messi that was being linked to the MLS than Ronaldo. But either way, it's going to be very interesting to see where he ends up. Ropen said into Miami. Yeah, I think that's going to be Messi. There's a report that came out that Messi is going to sign with Inter Miami for next season. So it looks like he might be heading there. And Ronaldo, he could always go MLS. I mean, look, he can go where he wants. He might not be able to go to any of the top clubs that he wants. You know, I'm not saying he could walk back into Real Madrid. Absolutely not. But he might be able to get into a club that's got Champions League football. I don't know if there is like a Sporting or a Benfica or, you know, one of those type teams. Failing that, MLS, Saudi Arabia, maybe China. China have got plenty of money, and we've seen them splash that around before as well. So, and he could always go back to Sporting, which is where it began for him. But again, that would require him taking a big reduction in wages. So it's really up to him. You know, if he wants money, there's money out there in Saudi Arabia. If he wants Champions League, that's going to be harder. And it may require him taking a drastically less payday. But there are options. Or if he wants to go to America, I'm sure America would be open for Ronaldo going over there. So, options. Messi is linked to MLS, said Shiran. James said, Ronaldo said he doesn't care about money, but if he goes to Saudi, then he's just a complete liar. Kian said, I don't think I could see Wales going through. As Wales support, I don't see us going through in this World Cup. Well, I mean, look, you just got to go into that game with belief, haven't you? Go into that game, see what happens. I think if you go into it thinking this is probably the end and just prepare yourself for that, then if it is, then hopefully it won't be too disappointing. It will be disappointing, of course, but hopefully it won't be too disappointing. Because hopefully, like, you know, I think the fact that you just wasn't quite good enough against the United States, you know, they looked a lot better in the first half. You had a really good second half, managed to get that late goal, that late equaliser. Hoped that meant that you would then kick on, but of course you ended up losing 2-0 to Iran, and really like that seems to be where the damage has been done. So if you go into that England game, you're always going to be up for a fight against England. It's going to be difficult. All you can do is try your best and just see like how the game goes, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be a challenge. Let's have a look and see what that group looks like. Because honestly, I can't quite remember off the top of my head what it is that Wales need. Wales are... So England are top on 4 points. Then it's Iran second on 3. USA are second on 2. Wales are bottom on 1 point. So Wales need to win, right? Wales need to win. And what you need is you need a draw in the other game. So you need there to be a draw. So if USA and Iran draw, that then means that Iran are on 4 points, USA are on 3 points. Okay, so draw, and that could happen. A draw could happen. Okay, but you have to beat England. So if you beat England, you need to just, I think I'm right in saying you just need to beat England. Because if you beat England 1-0, that would mean that you're on 4 points and your goal difference is -1, right? If Iran and USA draw, their goal difference won't change, and their goal difference would be -2. So Wales would go through. So what you're looking for is USA and Iran to draw and Wales to beat England. And I think I'm right in saying it could be 1-0. 1-0 would do it. So, yeah, tricky, very, very tricky. England are in a fortunate position whereby if it's a draw between Iran and USA, our goal difference is so good. As long as we don't get battered, we would be fine. If Iran win and we lose, then that means that Wales's goal difference is... I mean, if Iran win, Wales wouldn't go through because your goal difference, you would have to score so many goals. I mean, I think that would be very tricky for you then. So it's going to be eyes on both games, isn't it? Eyes on both games. It is going to be tricky for Wales. But the bottom line is there is a nice, easy way for you to go through, but you just need Iran to draw against USA, which is possible. And then you've got to get a 1-0 win against England or something along those lines, which isn't, again, out of the realms of possibility. Like, if you keep it tight, learn from the USA, just manage to get a goal late on, Bale, I could see it being 0-0, and then in the 93rd minute, Bale scores the winner and is the national hero. Like, I could see that happening. And then Iran and USA draw, and then that would mean that England go through and Wales go through, I believe. England and Wales would both go through in that case. And I think I'm right in saying that England would go through as group leaders. I think England would actually go through as group leaders if they lose 1-0 and Iran and USA draw, then England would be top, Wales would be second. I'd be all right with that. I mean, I wouldn't be over the moon about the fact we lost, but if we go through and we go through top, you can't ask for much more. So there's really, really interesting repercussions on Tuesday, or tomorrow, really, like lots of different ways that it can go. Right, here we go then. We are about to get underway with this game. We're about to get the teams coming out. Feel free to get in your final thoughts as to how you think this one's going to go. Of course, if you are just joining us, there is no Neymar. His foot swelling up and he was unable to play in this game. I think he's a doubt for the next game as well, to be honest. Do you think Ghana have got a chance of going through? Yeah, they do. I mean, they're second. We just had a look at that group. Obviously, we still, I think, need to see how some of the other games play out. Let's have a little look. Bang, 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 bang. So, Ghana are second. We've got Portugal, Uruguay later. If that game later is a draw, Ghana will stay second. If Portugal win, Ghana will stay second. If Uruguay win, Ghana go to third. That makes the group very interesting. All of a sudden, anything can happen in that group then. So we'll get a much better idea later when Portugal and Uruguay have played as to how that group looks and who needs what and where Ghana are. But at the moment, yes. I mean, whatever happens later, they're still in with a good shout of going through. And they played really, really well, winning that game earlier, 3-2. Again, if you are just joining us, 11 goals today. 11 goals today. Michael said the show in India is possibly a live event to see how it goes. If it goes well, do you think there would be a premium live event? I think they absolutely have to do a premium live event in India. Absolutely. I think that's good thought that it could be a test event to see what the how many tickets they sell and what the reception's like. But I mean, the numbers coming out of India are just immense for WWE. It's an untapped market, to be honest. It's a market that they just have underserved throughout their whole life. I mean, it's rare. I couldn't even tell you how many times they've been to India. I mean, I can't recall it, but I'm sure they've been. But yeah, that would be massive for them to go there, even a house show, and do a big house show. That would be massive. So I hope they go. I hope it works. I hope we get a premium live event. I'd be way more excited. I've said this before. Way more excited if the premium live events are right. Next month we're off to India. Month after that we're in England. Month after that we're in America. Month after that we're in Canada. Month after that we're in Mexico. Month after that we're back in America. You know, maybe you do six American premium live events, and you do 6 international premium live events, and you do 12. And like, you know, we go around the world a bit more. We go around the world a little bit more rather than them just all being in America. I think, like, you know, if you go like your 6, you do 1 in Florida, you do 1 in New York, you do 1 in LA. Do you know what I mean? Like 1 in Texas. Like, you still hit your big markets in America, but they've got to go to India. They've got to. 55 million watched WrestleMania. 60 odd million watched WrestleMania. It's amazing. So that is there's a hunger there, definitely. Ronaldo is all elite. Tony is going to sign him for Fulham, said Easy99. Bacon Plays said, I think it's going to be Brazil 3, Switzerland 1. Switzerland had a 1-1 last World Cup, but Brazil have a different team now. Some might say even better. Ease99 said, I like WWE doing live events in Malaysia. Last time WWE did a live event in Malaysia was 2014. Wow. Triple H said at the press conference that he wants to go around the world. He said he did when he wrestled, so it makes sense for others to get that experience. Yeah, good. Do it. Do it. I'm sure there'll be people in America sad that would mean less premium live events for America. But honestly, WWE is a global brand now. It really is, and they've got to lean into that and not be afraid of that or avoid embracing that. Like, they need to go around the world. And just imagine, like, you know, different flavors. The shows, I mean, different flavors. It would be brilliant. I mean, like, it would just be more exciting if Survivor Series had come from India, you know, or if it had come from Australia. Like, it just would be more exciting. UFC Days. Yes, UFC Days is the Twitter account. Apparently, this week, we should be getting suspended accounts back, Elon said. So, I still have heard nothing from Twitter. I've had no email. I've had no response to my appeal. I've heard nothing. So, I have no idea what the situation is. But he did say suspended accounts should be like being given back. So, my hope is that he's going to do that, and then that'll resolve the issue. And it might be nice, because I might even get my old account back. Do you think WWE doing shows in different countries that WWE is taking notice? I don't know, to be honest, because UFC have done them in other countries for a long time. I think it's probably more Triple H wants to do it and Vince wasn't as bothered. And it's maybe more that this is a Triple H thing. I don't know that it's WWE learning from UFC. Although saying that, I'm sure Triple H has seen that it's worked for UFC. UFC did Holly Holm against Ronda Rousey when Rousey finally lost. That was in Australia. That was at the Marvel Stadium, I believe. And, you know, they've been to Singapore. They've obviously been to the UK. They've been to Sweden. They've been to France. They're looking at going to Africa. They've obviously been to Brazil. You know, UFC really leans into being a global brand. And maybe WWE, maybe Triple H has learnt from that, and that's why he wants to do it. But I think it's probably more that Vince wasn't, I don't know, just wasn't as into it. Perhaps he was getting some nice, tasty offers from places to host different shows in their cities, because WWE does tend to boost the local economy when they put on a big show in an area. I mean, obviously, look at what happened with Clash at the Castle. Like, there's all sorts of numbers coming out about what kind of a positive impact WWE had to the Cardiff economy over that weekend. We are seeing Switzerland fans, with Clash being a success. Do you think WrestleMania or SummerSlam, they could do it there? They could. I don't think they will. I think WrestleMania and SummerSlam are too big to mess around with, to be honest. I think that those shows are shows that are very well established. I think they're probably big money spinners, WrestleMania in particular. And I don't think they would want to mess around with those. I could see there being more Clash at the Castle type shows. Still big shows, they just don't have the WrestleMania SummerSlam name, that's all. Right, this game has kicked off. And we are underway with Switzerland with the ball. Switzerland are going from right to left. Brazil are going from left to right. Here's Brazil. They're winning it back. Brazil driving forwards. And down goes the player. Referee coming over, just having a words. What do I want to click on? I want to get the statistics. There we go. Days Nick hasn't heard why either, says James. I feel for him. I really do. I feel for him. I hope he's enjoying the World Cup. It absolutely sucks. Absolutely sucks. I mean, the only thing is, he knows he's not alone because it's affected me. I know I'm not alone because I know at least it's affected like him, and obviously I wish it hadn't. But I have to think this has affected lots of people. Lots of people. I think they've changed the algorithm. I think there's been a change to the algorithm, and it's if you share a link to a stream and put live or some sort of keywords in there, the algorithm looks for that, and it doesn't matter. Like, it's not a human checking if it is an actual link to a game or not. I mean, I was sharing every day Olympic streams, Euro streams. Every week, I of course share wrestling streams, UFC streams. I mean, I feel a bit lost actually not doing it. It's really weird, but like not sharing stuff on Twitter, links on Twitter, is so weird. I've done it for years and years and years and years and years, and then Elon comes along and it's all changed. But we never even got told. I'd never got an email or anything telling me like, be careful of this now. It was like this change was made. We weren't told like that it had happened. I don't know, man. It's really dodgy. I don't like it at all. It's shady. To change something like that, and for your account to get suspended. I mean, it's a mistake. It's a simple mistake, but there's no one there to resolve it. There's no one to get in touch with. It's so frustrating. But I know I won't be the only one. Brazil trying to go down that left-hand side, and there was a little push, so it's going to be a free kick to Brazil. There's all the Brazilian fans there applauding away. Fred over the ball. Richarlison in the centre, waiting. This ball about to be whipped in. Let's see what they can do from this. It is coming in, goes all the way through all of the players, and tries to keep it in there. But no joy. No joy. It's going to be, I think, a throw into Switzerland. Will you change how you promote it on Twitter? Yeah, I'd have to. Yeah. I don't know what that would look like. I really don't know what that would look like. And part of the problem is I don't know what I'd get away with. I mean, it makes me sound guilty when I say stuff like that. Like, what can I get away with? But it's like, do I have to share a link to just the channel and not the video? Will that make a difference? Do I have to not use the word live? I don't know. I don't know what flagged. I don't know what I did wrong. So it means like trying to make sure that you Don't do. Imagine that. Like you've done. Apparently, you've done something wrong, but you're not being told what it is. They give you back your account, and now all of a sudden you're like, I don't even know what I can do now. So yeah, I would absolutely have to change how I share links. Maybe not even share links to streams. Maybe I would just have to share links to just videos. But to be honest, even having that ability back now would be, useful. Went from 12,000 Twitter followers to 600. So, the ability to be able to share links with more people is obviously going to be beneficial. Ball going down the line, being chased after by Switzerland. Alisson comes out, plays the ball forward, goes out of play. Do you think WWE could sell out 100,000 capacity? No idea. Don't know. I have no idea. I don't know, how many fans they've got that could afford to buy a ticket. Like, India is so big that 55 million will be spaced out. So if you do it there, can people travel? I mean, if you do it in a massive city where you would imagine 100,000 seater would be, then, you feel like there's a chance. It feels like there's a chance. But I honestly don't know, what the average income is. How much could you charge for tickets? Would it make money? How much is it to rent the stadium? All that kind of stuff. They might look at it and just financially it might not be viable. Because don't forget, you got to fly everyone over as well. You need hotels, all that kind of stuff. Renting the stadium. Don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they could do it. I think there's a lot of factors that would have to be weighed in. Switzerland about to take a corner. They play it in. Can't clear the first person. Goes behind. That's going to be a goal kick to Brazil. Look at the sea of yellow shirts behind that Brazilian goal. Brazil just trying to build from the back. Going over to that left-hand side. Ball coming back to the Brazilian defence. Hopefully they do give you a clear answer. I won't hold my breath. Easy99 said, we've got a stadium in Malaysia with a capacity of 80,000. We use it for football games and concerts. I would like to see WWE do a show there. Kian said the Euros will be in 2 years. If we don't go through, at least we can play in the Euros if we don't go through. Do I know where the Euros are? I don't think I do I? Is it in Germany? Is it in Germany? Someone tells me they're in Germany. Let's have a look. Euro 2024. Euro 2024 is Germany. The 14th of June to the 14th of July. So that's the next big tournament for European teams. So apparently Turkey and Germany were the two that wanted the tournament. Germany won 12 votes to 4. So it should be good, that should. Germany's got some wonderful stadiums. And 2 years to try and sort their team out. I'm sure their team will be a force when we get to Germany. I'm sure that they will want to ensure that they go with a team that stands a chance of winning this tournament. But it should be good, that should. Hopefully England could kick on as well. I'm so excited for after this tournament. I want to know what Southgate's going to do with Carvalho, who is Portuguese and walked out on Portugal. I want to know if he's going to drop him into the team. Are we going to bed in Tomori as well? There's some questions for what Southgate does after this tournament. And if Southgate will even be there, for example. Ball coming over to the right-hand side. So Switzerland have got the ball. We've already had, believe it or not, 8 minutes gone so far. 8 minutes gone so far as Switzerland are passing it around. Quite even on the possession at the moment. So 48% for Brazil, 52% for Switzerland. Brazil first in the world, Switzerland 15th in the world. Ball being played over to that left-hand side by Switzerland. The UK is the Euros after that, 2028. The UK is the Euros after that. Have they announced it? Have they announced Euros 2028? Euro 2028. I don't think it's been announced yet. There is a bid. So it says 3 declarations of interest to host the tournaments were received by the deadline of the 23rd of March. So England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and Republic of Ireland, they announced a joint bid. Turkey have also announced a bid as well, though. Turkey could be a problem because they bidded for the 2024 one. They didn't get it. Russia's bid has been rejected, of course. So their bid will not be considered. So it looks like it's between the England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales bids and Turkey. Switzerland winning the ball back. 10 minutes gone in this one already. When do they... Oh, okay, here we go. It's expected to be chosen by the end of 2023. So we're not going to know until the end of 2023 who wins that bid. Ball is with Switzerland in Brazil's half, being played over to the left-hand side. Nice forward ball. Lovely little link-up play. Plenty of Brazilian players around, though. They get the ball. I think that was Fred, actually. Fred doing some good work, mopping things up. Messi celebrated by wiping his feet using a Mexico flag. Canelo gave him a warning, saying if he sees him, Messi is done. I did see that. I hope England get the World Cup soon. The Euros just isn't the same, said Redemption. Oh, God, the World Cup. Imagine the World Cup coming to England. We've only ever hosted the World Cup once. We did make a bid for it, but we never got it. The World Cup. I wonder if we could get that. We should be able to get the World Cup. The only problem is if we host the Euros along with Ireland and all of that, does that then mean that it's like, well, you had a tournament recently, you don't deserve another one? Was it sort of seen as that? Ball is over on that left-hand side. Nice, played forwards. Switzerland doing a really good job here of frustrating Brazil, and they're winning battles in midfield. Although, look at this. Here come Brazil. Ball being played back. Nicely intercepted there by Switzerland. Really good interception. There is no power, so I'm going to watch this stream till the power comes back, says Thruka. 2026 will be USA, Mexico, and Canada. Yep, that's the next World Cup. No news on 2030. So we don't know where 2030 is, and we don't know where 2028 Euros are at the moment. But we do know that the next World Cup is in US, Canada, Mexico. We know the next Euros are in Germany. Militao playing a ball into the middle. Loves, some of this link-up play is beautiful, but that ball just gets away. Just gets away from Richarlison. He didn't wipe the floor with it. Sergio Aguero explained on Twitter, says Harry. Did you see Carl Froch call out Jake and Logan Paul? No. I mean, got to think they'd be stupid to take that fight. Have you seen the film Top Gun? No, actually. I've seen bits of it. It's been on TV a few times, but I've never actually sat down and watched it. It's not really my thing. 2030 World Cup will probably be held in an African nation, said Easy99. Morocco and Egypt. Austria-Hungary have hosted once when Austria was called that, says Bacon Plays. Switzerland on the ball, playing it all the way back to their keeper. He knocks it over to the left-hand side. We're in Switzerland's half. Brazil have just had a couple of little glimpses, couple of little moments. One shot, but it was off target. Here comes Switzerland. Is that a foul? Yeah, Casemiro with a foul. Casemiro with a foul on Mbolo. So Mbolo was coming forward. Casemiro tackling him from behind. That was a bit clumsy by Casemiro. It was a bit clumsy. Have a little look, see what this is going to be then. Certainly doesn't look like shooting range. Doesn't look like it, but... Oh, there we go. They've moved it forwards. Ooh. Just on the edge of shooting range, I would say, but I don't think you'd beat Alisson from there. So I don't think it'd be wise to go for it. Let's see what they come up with. Central. I mean, if he absolutely rifled it, it could be interesting. No, he just passes it. Goes over to the wing. They definitely need to get some ball in, and they do, but it's a bad ball. Falls back out to Switzerland. Play it over to the right-hand side, and it goes out of play. It's really wasteful, that is. Really, really wasteful. Top Gun Maverick is my favourite movie of the year, says Tharuka. Top Gun 86 was also really my cup of tea, but the new one blew me away. Brazil just plays so good, said Bacon Plays. 1 Minute Wrestler said, let's go Brazil. Wes cheering on Brazil as well. Annette said, do you think any returns on Raw or Alexa heel turn? I think Alexa heel turn could be interesting. I don't know if it'd be a heel turn. I don't know quite what she would do. I mean, like Bray's, it's hard to know if Bray's heel or not. And I don't know. I mean, something with Alexa, I think, is possible tonight. Obviously, lots of people were watching and speculating that we might get something happen at Survivor Series, and it didn't. Gotta tell you, I think Survivor Series bombed, you know. Our watch-along was not as busy as usual, and I did wonder if that was down to the fact that I couldn't use Twitter, but I just had a quick look to see like how the What Culture watch-along had done, and that had done about the same. So I've really got big doubts as to like how Survivor Series performed. But either way, that's in the past. We've got Raw tonight, and yeah, we're bound to get some Bray stuff this week. What's your thoughts on Pep's extension? As a City fan, I'm buzzing, but if we don't win the Champions League, then maybe it's truly not to be, says Harry. I think you can only be buzzing, to be honest. The Champions League is so hard to win. I mean, think about Alex Ferguson. Like, he joined in the mid to late 80s. He finally won the Champions League in 1999. You know, if you think about how dominant United were in the 90s, I remember campaign after campaign after campaign of United going out. Feels very reminiscent, actually, Man City, what's happening with them and what happened with United. I mean, you might not enjoy hearing this, but it's sort of kind of nice to see Man City paying their dues, because you're a team that was in the second division. You was in like League One and all of that. You've obviously had a load of money invested into you, which I don't begrudge you. You've now obviously become the team, and you're winning the league and like running away with it and all that kind of stuff. And it's sort of refreshing to see that you're not just running away with the Champions League and just Champions League after Champions League after Champions League. Like, you're paying your dues, you know, you're having your heartaches, you're having your campaigns that don't go quite right, and United went through that. I remember our campaigns in like 96, 97, 98 being like heartbreaking, and then finally in 99 it came through. So I do expect Man City to do it and get there, and I think you can get there under Pep, and you can certainly get there with this team. So I do think you'll do it. I don't know if it's this year, but I sort of like the fact that you have paid your dues. So when you get there, no one can really say that you don't deserve it, or you haven't had your heartaches, you know. I think it would just be awful if a team came in, had money all cleared there by Switzerland. I think it'd be awful if a team had money invested in them and then they just started winning leagues and Champions Leagues and it was just easy. Just easy. Sort of nice. I think it's nice for football that even if money is invested, you still can't buy a Champions League. Same, look at PSG. Look at PSG. That's why I love PSG not winning it. So I think you'll get there eventually. I think Pep's the man to do it. I understand why everyone wants us to fail, but it does hurt every year, especially last year, says Harry. Yeah, but as I said, United went through that. I can totally sympathise. I remember United being dominant in the league and falling short 96, 97, 98. I don't remember 94, 95 being great campaigns at all. And like early 90s, obviously we won, was it Cup Winners' Cup against Barcelona or something? Like, but yeah, you've gone through it. You've definitely had campaigns where it looked like you were going to do it and then you fell short. But that's it. I feel like you've paid your dues. And now it's, I don't think that will continue. I think it will happen for you. Ball is being knocked into the centre, but there was no Swiss player in there. I kind of like these Swiss shirts, I think these Switzerland home shirts look kind of nice. Long ball. Still no shots on target, by the way. Obviously, I know we're chatting about lots of different things, but if there was any drama in and around the penalty boxes, we would be bringing you that. But at the moment, they're just sort of passing the ball in the midfield. There are some through balls with players trying to chase onto them. We did see Brazil almost breaking through about 10 minutes ago. Nothing came of that, though. We did just see a ball being played across the area. There was no one in there to kind of slot it home, so nothing there for Switzerland. Ball being played forward by Switzerland. Tackle by Brazil. Ball coming over to the left-hand side, back into the centre. Plenty of space here for Brazil. Big tackle, and there was a big gaping hole in the middle of the park there. Ball being played back to Sommer. Switzerland just a bit ragged at the moment, but the ball is with Brazil in their own half. I really liked War Games format. I didn't like the War Games format. I missed the eliminations, says Taruka. Andy said, Man City have got a big chance this year. De Bruyne and Haaland link up is amazing. I agree. Watson said, did you see the video of the Ghana coach taking a selfie with Son whilst he was in tears after the game? No, I didn't. That's a bit rude, isn't it? Harry said, I feel as though we have the clinical striker that we can win it this year. In that game against Madrid, we had so many chances, Haaland would have feasted on. Yep. I mean, I'm thinking your favourites for it this year. So this could be the year. Well, 2023 could be the year. Man City have got a big chance this year. I've seen that Sammy said his two favourite things he's done was the feud with Johnny Knoxville and being an honorary oos, says Kian. Sadly, there's not much more to choose from, is there? Ball is being passed around. In the defence of Switzerland, halfway through the first half. So halfway through the first half, Switzerland showing how hard they're going to be to break down. And Switzerland can do this for 90 minutes as well. Being played over. They're a wonderfully disciplined team. Ball coming over into the centre. Over to the right-hand side. Goes over to the right-hand side again. Switzerland playing it back to their goalkeeper. Just struggling to find a way forwards. I'll have to look for that Ghana coach picture, him and Son. Well, I'd like to see that. See how shockingly inappropriate it is. Ghana coach, Son, World Cup. Son was once again in tears at World Cup after South Korea's defeat to Ghana, though that did not stop one of the Ghanan coaches from taking a selfie with him. The Asian Giants are now on the precipice of exiting the tournament after a thrilling 3-2 defeat at the Education City Stadium. Yeah, he was in tears. George Boateng told the coach off and gave him a stern glare. It is pretty moody, isn't it? I've got the image here. I'll show you the image. Yeah, that is moody. There's some such weird stuff that happens at the World Cup. Look at that. Excuse me, can I just get a... don't be rude. Look at the camera. Son in tears. I mean, read the room. Read the room. Oh, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of your work in the Premier League. Can I just have a... Come on, don't be a douche. Have a look at the camera, yeah? Have a look at the camera. Here's Switzerland tackle, though, by Brazil. I really like Switzerland. Their flag is a huge plus, says Watson. Andy said, did you think in that picture that Roman and Jay looked at Sammy or Solo? Did you think in that picture that Roman and Jay looked at Sammy or Solo? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. Ball being played back to the Brazilian defense. WWE LOL said, I don't know how you do the streams. Not only would I be tired, but I would have lost my voice. Yeah, do you know, actually, even I'm surprised my voice is holding up as well as it is. Yeah, even I'm fairly surprised. I mean, the only thing is, I'd say, is that when I'm not streaming, I don't need to talk that much. So I suppose it gets a bit of a rest. But during the Olympics, it was had a few days where it was a bit weak. But now it's doing all right. We're doing all right. Don't know what it'll be like by the time we get to the final, of course, but... Ball in the centre. Here comes Brazil. Brazil playing the ball. Forward, Fred down to that left-hand side, but look at the marking. Two Swiss players right there. Two Swiss players right on Vinny. Brazil look like they've won it back, though. Brazil have won it back. There's just so many Swiss players around. I mean, Switzerland have already got their whole team behind the ball. Oh, very good. Oh, save. Lovely diagonal ball to the back post. Yeah, it was a great run that was by Vinny. Look at that ball. He started running. Oh, he's just absolutely messed it up, though. It's come off his knee rather than his boots. So he's kind of kneed it towards goal. Lots of jeers. Ball in the air. Edge of the area. Shot coming in. Does come to a Brazilian player. Game continuing. It's whipped in the middle. Cleared by Switzerland. This is one of the most dramatic parts of the game so far. Switzerland have got the ball. Staying calm. Playing it down the line. Being chased after. Headed out. Should have done better there, said Harry. Should have done better. This is the last day of having 4 games, said Watson, yeah? I think I'm right in saying, from this game, from now on, we do every game. I'm sure I'm right in saying that. From now on, we do every game. All the games that we were going to miss at this World Cup, we've now missed them. And so from now on, we do every game. Mohammed, I have a channel. Hello, Mohammed. Hope you are well. Ball in the middle by Switzerland. Goes all the way back to the Swiss defence, but Brazil picking it up just inside Switzerland's half. I wouldn't mess with him. Yeah, he's a big guy, isn't he, the dude in that picture? Even so, though, have a bit of class. Right, we're in the 29th minute. There's a few words being exchanged there by Rafinha. Ball being played across. Yes, no Jesus, but that's a great option to bring off the bench. No Martinelli. That's a great option. No Anthony. That's a great option. Kind of interesting that the Brazilian coach prefers Rafinha over Anthony. Feel like United could have got Rafinha if they wanted him. They ended up going for Anthony, though, of course. Ball coming over to that right-hand side for Brazil. They're just passing it amongst the defence at the moment. And again, it just gives time for Switzerland to get into their defensive shape. They've got a 4-5-1 formation at the moment. Ball is with Brazil on the halfway line. Lovely turn. Plenty of Swiss players around, though. Almost half an hour gone. Almost a third of the game. What happens if the game is still 0-0? Well, if the game ends 0-0, let's have a look. We can see what the table will look like that. So it will be Brazil top on 4 points. Switzerland second on 4 points. And then it will come down to the final round of games. Cameroon and Brazil, I believe, is the next game. Shot from distance, straight into the hands of the Swiss goalkeeper. So, yeah, it would come down to the final games, with anyone still being able to progress. I mean, Brazil would be sitting pretty because Cameroon would need to score 3. Well, they would need to score a couple, like, in order to improve their goal difference. Brazil would be all right. I think I'm right in saying Brazil would just need a draw or a win in their last game. So that's how the table looks at the moment. What about Matt Cardona returning? He's teased it a lot this week. I'm not bothered. I've never rated him. I mean, the only time I really liked him is when he did his Long Island IC stuff, and he had, like, you know, I liked the fact that he was trying to. He wasn't being booked very well, so he took to YouTube and he tried to get himself over on YouTube, and I got respect for him for that. And he had the Internet Championship and things along those lines. Outside of that, he's just never done anything for me. I don't find his matches very interesting. I don't find his promos very interesting. It just wouldn't do anything for me. The only reason you're champ is because Triple H doesn't want to work on Tuesdays. Can't believe the wrestling journey I've been on. I've been watching you since WrestleMania 35. Mohammed, shout out to you, my friends. Shout out to you. What a journey it's been. A long and winding road. With this year being arguably the biggest year as well. I mean, incredible stuff that's happened this year with Vince going. Brazil playing the ball in the middle. Brazil surging forwards. Passing it around and picked up by Switzerland. Going down the line. And Brazil knocking the ball back. Goes back to their goalkeeper. So it's just all in the midfield. I mean, we've had 2 shots on target for Brazil. Neither have been that great. The one from Vinny was interesting. Kind of came off his knee, but it was comfortable to save. The other was a shot that had some fizz on it, but it was right at the keeper. You know, it's not like either have been that close. Nice defending there. Really, really good work by Militao, I believe. Ball is being played back into the midfield. Brazil passing it back to the defence. Into Fred. Richarlison making some moves as the ball comes over to Vinny. Vinny offside. Vinny offside. It's been a roller coaster of emotions. I do miss the football channel, but I'm glad that we are getting the World Cup, says Harry. Yeah, football channel was fun. I enjoyed doing the football. It's why doing the World Cup was not a difficult decision. It was just trying to work out how much of it we could do to make sure we still did the wrestling. Here's Switzerland. Switzerland driving forward. Lovely little through ball as they go into Brazil's half. Ball coming over to that right-hand side. It's being passed around. Do you think Vince will be inducted into the Hall of Fame? There is a chance he is going to be a name that is always going to be linked to it. He's always going to be linked to going in until he goes in or dies. I don't know if it's just maybe a bit soon. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they repair his image. I don't know that he cares about repairing his image. But I don't know how we repair his image. If he goes in, I feel like the crowd would cheer him and be behind him. But I don't know that it would be crazy. Like, you know. There's like this black cloud hanging over, isn't there? Like, we don't know the truth around the hush money stuff. And some of the allegations were really moody. Some of the allegations were really bad. Ronaldo, look at that. Big cheer. Big cheer for Brazilian Ronaldo. Fat Ronaldo. Fat Aldo in the crowd. Do you think Vince will be... Oh, he answered that one. Well, anything get teased on Twitter. When anything gets teased on Twitter, it rarely happens, said James. That's true, actually. I saw so many people speculating over the poster for Survivor Series. And, like, I got tagged in lots of that kind of stuff. I really don't think the posters mean anything. All going over to the left-hand side for Brazil, trying to find a way forward. This has not been the most gripping of games, but it's been tense. It's been tense. But not the goal fest of the other games. But of course, as soon as we start watching, all the goals dry up. I do miss the Football Days channel. Power just came back on, said Tharuka. Andy said Switzerland are pretty good, so it won't be easy game for Brazil. They're the ones that eliminated France last year. Edge of the area. Here's Brazil. It's going to be a shot from range. Bounces off a Switzerland player, and it goes behind. So there was a shot there by Militao, I believe. Militao taking a shot. Days, do you think Argentina and Mexico will advance? That's a great question. Let's have a look. We'll have a look in those groups. I think that's Group C. So we will have a look in that group in a sec. But we've just got a corner here. We've just got a corner to Brazil. Let's see what they can do. There's Richarlison. He's ready for a ball to be whipped in. Plenty of yellow shirts in there. It's on the wing. They're on the edge of the area. Danger. Danger for Switzerland. The ball is played in, but straight into the hands of Sommer. Straight into the hands of Sommer. So, let's have a look. Switzerland have got the ball. Played over to the right-hand side. They're in Brazil's half. We'll have a look. It's an interesting group, this one, isn't it? It's a really interesting group. Mexico feel like they're out, to be honest. Mexico feel like they're out. They're playing Saudi Arabia. I suppose they could get a win. They could get a win. But you've got to think that Argentina are going to win. And then it's going to come down to goal difference. If Mexico win, they'll be on 4 points. If Argentina win, they will be on 6. Oh, that's a lovely turn by the Swiss player, but... Oh, unlucky. Unlucky. It was a lovely turn. But Alisson was straight out, straight onto it. So, yeah, just looking at that group, if Mexico beats Saudi Arabia, they get 4 points. Let's say they win 2-0. That means their goal difference will be 0. If Argentina beat Poland by 2 points, by 2 goals, that will mean they go to 6 points. And actually, Poland will be on 4 points with a goal difference of 0 as well. Then it would come down to goals scored. I don't know. I don't have that information in regards to goals scored. And then it would come down to their head-to-head. So Mexico and Poland could find themselves being level on points and potentially level on goal difference as well. So I think it's going to be really hard for Mexico. Argentina, I quite fancy them to go through. Quite fancy them to go through. A draw, I don't think would be enough unless Mexico win. And then it's going to come down to Mexico needing 3 goals, I think. Mexico would have to win by 3 goals if Argentina draw. So a draw for Argentina might be enough as well. If Argentina draw and Saudi Arabia win, then we've got problems for Argentina. So Argentina are still in trouble. They still potentially could go home, but we would need a miracle. We would need a miracle by Saudi Arabia, and we would need Poland to draw or beat Argentina. So I feel good for Argentina. I feel less good for Mexico. Okay, ball is out of play. Ball is out of play so far. I've had those 2 shots on target by Brazil. Argentina aren't 100% through. They play Poland. That is a tricky game, says Andy. Harry said, I'm going to miss morning games. Everyone watching it together at college was class. My media teacher was always watching it over the shoulder. Argentina win 2-0 against Mexico. Argentina and Mexico advance. If Argentina win 2-0, Mexico win 3-0, then Argentina and Mexico advance. Canelo Alvarez has threatened Messi, saying that he'd better pray he doesn't find him. Yeah. Here's Switzerland. Oh, giving the ball away. Yeah, quite a fun little story, that one, isn't it? I'd love for Messi to turn around and go, you know, I'm in Qatar. You know where I am, yeah? You know where I am. Come over, I'll smack you about. I'd love for him to say that. And then what if Canelo, like, sent a picture of him on the plane? Oh, man, that'd be so good. Who's winning the World Cup? I've backed Brazil, but we all hope it's coming home. I'm leaning Brazil as well. I think Argentina are still banging this, you know. We've seen teams lose their... I mean, Spain famously lost their first game and then went on to win. Was it the World Cup or the Euros? So, you know, it's been done. It's not like you lose your first game and that's it. You're rubbish. You're not going to win. Brazil still passing it around. We're in the 43rd minute. 1 Minute Wrestler said, I want Argentina to advance. What's the ranking of Uruguay? I think they're about 14th. I think they're about 14th in the worlds. Switzerland are 15th. Uruguay are 14th. So Portugal are 9th. Uruguay are 15th. 14th. Bang, 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 bang. Wrestle with Andy said, I found out Ricky Steamboat wrestled last night. Did he? Hope he's all right. Doesn't need to do that anymore, Ricky. Wonder where he wrestled. I bet. Oh God, I hope it wasn't some small flipping venue. Ball being whipped in there by Brazil, but headed clear by Switzerland. Imagine that. Imagine if Ricky Steamboat was wrestling in your town. You would absolutely go, wouldn't you? You would absolutely go. I want Argentina as well. They don't look intimidating. Ball being played in there by Brazil and headed clear. Headed clear. I think, is that going to be another corner? Thiago Silva was in there. The Brazilian fans are urgent. The lights gone out. Lights have gone out in the stadium. Oh, we've got drama. Lights are out. Yay! They're back on. Lights momentarily going out in the stadium. So, ref coming over, just having a words. Wow, even the lights got a bit bored. But here we go. We're going to see corner. Rafinha whipped into the middle, punched away. It's bouncing around. It's cleared. It's cleared. It's cleared. Ball being headed back in and around the penalty area. Knocked back into the middle. Cleared. Oh, man, there's some last-ditch defending going on by Switzerland, but they're doing it. They're doing it. Watson said it's Bray. It's Bray. Wow. Uncle Howdy just arrived. Imagine if the lights came back on and the goalkeeper was Bray. Or the ref. The ref was Uncle Howdy. That would have been sick. What's the score? 0-0. It's the Fiend. It's Bray. Lights gone out. It's House of Black. Tell you what, Mbolo, I think, just won a corner there, just quickly going down the other end. There's only one added minute here. Harry said, Brazil do not look amazing, but the one thing they have is game changers. Same thing as Argentina. That's true. That is true. Right, ball about to be whipped in from this corner, and there's time for a corner. There's not really time for anything else. There's two balls on the pitch. Here we go. Ball played in, bouncing around. God, could you imagine if Switzerland scored then? Could you imagine if they'd have got a goal? That's it. That is the end of the half. This game has barely got into gear. That's a good point, actually. They said the first halves have not been this tournament's strong point. The goals usually flow after the break, so maybe we'll see a goal fest after this halftime break. But at the moment, it is Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. This year's World Cup is weird because everything goes down mostly in the second half. Steamboat teamed with FTR versus Aldis Lethal and Brock Anderson. Boom. Well, that's good. At least it wasn't some, gymnasium somewhere. 0-0. Andy said, I wouldn't mind The Undertaker at the World Cup. He had that Saudi show, so never say never. Right, we're just at... Oh, yeah, this is that... They're showing the... Is this the Nike advert? With Ronaldinho and Mbappe. It's pretty fun, this advert. It's pretty fun. And there's classic Ronaldo as well. I don't know if I've seen this advert shown on TV yet. We want goals, says Rotem. We want goals. By God, it's Neymar. Well, Neymar's out, isn't he? Neymar is out. That's the shorter version, isn't it, of the Nike advert? Do you think Ronaldo will score tonight? I think he's got a great chance. I think Ronaldo has got a great chance, but I think it's going to be tricky against Uruguay. Uruguay are only, 5 places below them in the FIFA rankings. We were talking about how this is going to be a really difficult game for Brazil, and so it's proving. Not the most exciting of first halves. There wasn't really much for us to get animated about or excited about. Even the commentators said this game has not got really going yet. A couple of revs, a couple of moments, but not really much for us to talk about. But we are hopeful for the second half. There's been a lot of action in the second half of games at this World Cup, so we'll see what the second half has got to bring. Obviously, I'm expecting some changes as well, and certainly Brazil have got a wonderful bench. But again, if you are just joining us, there is no Neymar. Neymar is out of this game, and he might even be out of the next one. His foot has really swollen up due to a challenge in the opening game that he suffered, which has meant that his ankle has ballooned up. So they're having to do it without Neymar, but they should still have more than enough to get by. Bit of a downgrade from the last two games, said Harry. Bananas and Grapes said Rafinha will score. Tharuka said, I think the reason lots of goals are hitting in the second half is players getting tired. That's a really good point. Fatigue is a really good point. So as players do start to get tired and get worn down. Because, I mean, I must admit, when they said that it was going to be in Qatar, everyone's first reaction was it's going to be way too hot. And training is going to be a nightmare and all this kind of stuff. But we have not seen drinks breaks or anything like that in these stadiums. Of course, the roofs tend to be closed and they're air conditioned, and I think they're relatively comfortable, but we still don't know what the humidity is like. We still don't know how, I haven't heard anything about how, hard it is towards the end of a game, and, how much, it differs to the end of, say, a Premier League game. How much more fatigued do you feel? Because you've got to think, even in that stadium with, the controlled atmosphere, it's probably still having an effect that we are in Qatar. So I agree with that. I think that we are seeing teams getting quite fatigued in the... I thought England looked fatigued pretty much from the opening whistle in their game. But yeah, I think this should open up hopefully a bit more in the second half. Despite all the controversy, I am loving the World Cup so far, says Harry. Tharuka said, get well soon, Neymar. There's a guy... There's a guy in the crowd that looks just like Neymar, and there was loads of people trying to get a picture of that guy. What are your thoughts on that half? I think that Brazil are the better sides. I think that they have created a few chances. I think that Switzerland have just got numbers in the box, and there's been quite a few times where the ball will be played in and Switzerland just get it clear. And if it had just got past that defender, there was a Brazilian player that was there, we've seen some nice chances, but equally we've seen Switzerland creating a few things down the other end, just not convincing or as convincing. So Brazil definitely feel like they're the better side here, and the numbers back that up. Their expected goals is 0.53, so they are expected to get a goal now in this game. Switzerland are still 0.03 for their expected goals. In regards to ball possession, Brazil just having the slight edge, but there's actually not that much in it. 6 shots to 1, 2 on target for Brazil, nothing for Switzerland. But as you said, Switzerland have been solid, well organised. They've defensively been able to clear their lines, and I think that they've played the part we expected them to play. We said that this was going to be difficult for Brazil. We said that they were well organised. We said that they've got some good individuals. I think Mbolo has caused a few problems for them going forwards. But, this is set up quite nicely for the second half. I would say any result is still possible. This could be 0-0 and then Switzerland get a goal late, the 80-something minute. I could definitely see that. If they keep it 0-0, keep it tight, go down and get a corner or something. You could be 1-0 Switzerland. Of course, Brazil could get an early goal. Then, Switzerland open up. Maybe the second's a bit easier. So we could have 0-0. We could have 1-1. We could have 2-0. This could go any which way. Just hoping that we do get some goals, though. BBC are just showing that there was definitely some opportunities for Switzerland to play some more forward balls. But yeah, they just didn't. Going forward, they just didn't have that kind of dynamism. That's not even a word. They just weren't dynamic going forward. LFC said, I went to WWE in Manchester in 2015 when Reigns put Big Show through the table. Tharuka said there are reports WWE is planning to do a big show in India. They seem to be missing leadership at the front with Neymar, said LFC. And he said Roman versus Sami is reportedly going to take place in Elimination Chamber in Canada. We could see that storyline. I can't wait, says Andy R.O. That would be interesting. The only problem is that close to WrestleMania, I don't know that Sami's going to be getting the title. Don't know that Sami would take the belt there, but God, that would be... We could be on a hell of a journey, couldn't we? We could be on a hell of a journey if it is going to go that way. That's what I wanted. I was hoping that they would go and give him the match against Roman. I think he's earned it. I think he's absolutely earned it, but I don't know that they're going to give him the win. I think if Sami wins the title, it would be in Canada though, wouldn't it? I was going to say, is Elimination Chamber the stage you would do it? You can't do WrestleMania because I'm sure it's going to be Rock Roman. But would it be a case that they would put the belt on Sami at Elimination Chamber? I hope so. I really hope so. Who do you think Roman's next opponent is? I'm probably looking at maybe... Well, I was thinking Sheamus or Kevin Owens. Those are the first names that come to mind. LFC said, I'm still fuming with Mysterio's son going heel on Ray and making Ray go to SmackDown. Rotem said, Switzerland is boring compared to Serbia. I want to see WWE in Manchester in 2015. We read that one. What are your thoughts on the first half? We did that. I think we are nicely up to speed just as we're going to be approaching the second half of this one very, very soon. I know that this one won't have the juices flowing out there, but this second half might do it. And also, we can just have a look at the table, see how that looks. So Brazil are top. They're top with 4 points plus 2 goal difference. Switzerland second, 4 points plus 1 goal difference. Hell of a gap between those teams and Cameroon and Serbia. Cameroon and Serbia would have it all to do in that last game week. They would absolutely have to win their games. They would absolutely have to win their games. And even win them by some margin in order to get through. Obviously, this could hurt Brazil if they do lose this game. If they lose this game, they would be on 3 points. And their goal difference would go down as well. All of a sudden then, things do then start to become a little more interesting. But I feel pretty good about Brazil going through, in all fairness. This group feels like Brazil is going to be progressing. Brazil and Switzerland, actually. Both teams just need to get draws in their final game. Rest with Andy said, if Sami won, it would be like Eddie winning the title over Brock the month before Mania. That's true, actually. That is true. Brock was leaving, though, wasn't he? I don't know if that was a factor. I don't actually know why they didn't save that for WrestleMania. But, yeah, that's a good comparison. What if Roman loses the WWE title to Sami and the Universal title to Cody? He could do that. Yeah, he could do that. PW Insider, Roman Kevin is going to happen at the Rumble. That's interesting. I mean, if Rock Roman is on, he could turn up at Elimination Chamber. He could cost Roman to set up their match. That's interesting as well. LFC said, Days, is Dominic Ray's son, or is he Eddie, or is that just storyline? Oh, it's only storyline. Its only storyline is definitely Ray's proper son. So yeah, it's only storyline. Right, we are waiting to go back to this match, and we should be getting underway with it again very, very soon. I didn't know that about Roman and Kevin at the Royal Rumble. Didn't they face at the Royal Rumble before? Wasn't it Royal Rumble in like 2021 or something that they last faced each other? Sure, it was Rumble. I'm sure it was a Rumble that was like a last man standing thing. Just be a bit weird that they do that match again at the same show. But I wouldn't be against it. When I was a kid, I always thought it was real. I didn't know it was storyline, says LFC. Yep, kayfabe used to be important, but not so much anymore. Right, we are just seeing a lovely scene of Qatar with that stadium. Yeah, the lights went off, didn't they, momentarily? I wonder what that was. I wonder why the lights went. Plenty of lights dancing away at the top of the stadium as the players coming out. Some of the light shows have been crazy that they've been doing at half times. Trying to watch the pundits like saying giving their analysis whilst the lights are like going mental in the background has been kind of fun to see. It's been distracting, some of them on the BBC and ITV. We're just seeing Richarlison and some of the players coming down the tunnel, so we're going to be back underway with this soon. I don't think it's panic stations for Brazil. I don't think it's panic stations for Brazil at all, but they could really do with just upping the intensity just a little bit, just kind of going into that next gear. They've got so many gears that they could go into. They just need to find that next one. It is true. That bench of Brazil's is very impressive. There's Casemiro, Thiago Silva. It was Roman botched the ending with the key and the handcuffs. I wish that John Moxley would return. He was a real street fighter, proper solid, says LFC. Reports are that Kevin Owens and Sami versus Usos at Mania is scheduled to happen. That would suggest then that he's not going to win the title, so it's a bit of a shame in it, like all the spoilers. If we are going to get Roman versus Sami, but then we know that it's going to be Kevin Owens and Sami against the Usos, that sort of suggests, well, Sami's going to face Roman, he won't win the title, then he'll go to WrestleMania and go after the tag belts. Paqueta has gone off for Brazil. Rodrigo has come on in his place. I thought Paqueta was all right, actually. I didn't think he played that bad at all. Okay. Whistle goes, and we should be getting underway. Brock Lesnar versus Gunther is rumoured discussion for WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, third match to wrap up the feud at the Rumble. Right, boom. If it's Sami Roman at Elimination Chamber in Montreal, could there be a new Montreal screw job? There could be. There could be. I don't know that they would do that. But there would always be the possibility to do that. I think the Montreal screw job's special because you know it's real, and like anything that's going to try and just play on that it'll be a fun little story, but it would not be as big. It's going to be Roman versus Scripps, says Roman. That's the dream match, mate. That's the one we're all waiting for. That's the one that we're all waiting for. I think as soon as we saw Scripps, we knew that his future was going to be, WWE champ, Universal champ, as soon as possible. Give him all the belts. All the belts. Tharuka said, if you finished Walking Dead, would you start Better Call Saul? I have finished Walking Dead, but to be honest, I ain't starting anything until the World Cup's done. This is taking up all of my time at the moment, so we're going to be watching this And then, obviously, we'll see where we go after that. Let's go, says Legend Killer. Let's go. Let's go. Just got a little bit of glitching on the TV. Don't know why. Looks like the picture quality is not that great. There we go. Let's come back. Right. So Switzerland have got the ball. They're just passing it around their defense. They're going from left to right. Brazil are going from right to left. Are we going to see goals in this second half? I hope so. Dave Sasha is teasing a wrestling return. Apparently teasing Raw and Dynamite this week. Thank you. Easy99 said, I think that Roman will defend his title inside Elimination Chamber, with Roman and Sami giving the Daniel Bryan Kofi vibe in 2019 before Roman smashes Zayn in his hometown. 2 months build for the Rumble. Yep. Harry says, Rodrigo gives me PTSD. Okay. Again, little push in the back there as the Swiss player goes down. Don't forget our game after this. Ronaldo, Portugal. That's coming up after this little break in players. It's going to be a free kick to Switzerland. Keeping it calm at the moment, which is good. So the Swiss player plays it back. Down the line, comes to the keeper. He knocks it back. Coming forward, Switzerland on the ball, playing it forward, knocking it back to their defence. They're in their own half at the moment, trying to find a way forward. Gets to the halfway point on the inside. That gets played back as well. Down the line, goes out of play. Tharuka said, I'm so excited for the Rumble. It's going to be good. Yeah, Rumble this year. A Triple H Rumble is going to be absolutely fascinating. I cannot wait for that. I completely agree. And as was mentioned earlier, you know, by Andy, a 2-month build as well for it. Brilliant. Here's Casemiro. He is playing the ball forward, comes back to him. He knocks it to the side. Bit of pressure on him. Some lovely pressing by Switzerland. Some really nice closing down. Ball in the middle, comes over to the right-hand side. Fred. Casemiro to Fred. Fred cutting in. Launching the ball forwards. Comes over to the left-hand side. Throw in there by Vinny. Stone Cold to appear in the Rumble and set up a WrestleMania match. I can certainly see that happening, says Harry. Tharuka said, I'm so excited for the Rumble. Tharuka also said, will Roman defend both of his titles? I don't think so. I don't know that he'll have both belts. I mean, I'm guessing he maybe he will. I mean, unless he loses one to Kevin Owens and then Sammy tries to get the other. But I don't think it's wise for him to have both belts at WrestleMania. I think it's wise. I think you need a championship match. And him versus The Rock just doesn't need both titles. Step overs there by Rafinha trying to whip the ball in the middle, but it's cleared by Switzerland. So the ball is kicked out. It's going to be a throw in here for Brazil. 40 minutes left in this game. 40 minutes to go. Ball going down the line. Yeah, they're trying to get a bit of noise going in the crowd because this is, honestly, it's just flat. It's just really flat. It's a flat game. Vinicius Jr. playing the ball into the middle. Here come Brazil trying to get something going. You just need that one person to get the ball, beat a player, open up a bit of space. That's kind of what the game needs. At the moment, they're just passing it around and it's a bit pedestrian and They're not really finding anything that exciting. They're trying down the wings and, they're getting forward. They might hit it off a player, win a corner, things like that. But it needs that bit of magic. And Brazil's got magic all over the pitch. I hope you get a 40 or a 50 person Rumble, said Undercover. They will do Roman Kevin at the Rumble, said Mohammed's. Roman, Sammy will be the last two people inside Elimination Chamber. Sammy hits Haluva on Roman before Reigns kicks out at 2.99999. Roman hits 3 spears, guillotine. Sammy passes out. Can you let me know when Richarlison has a shot on target? I know, yeah. I've got Richarlison in my fantasy team. And I've quite fancied him to get something from this game. Switzerland have got the ball at the moment. There's only been 2 shots on target. Here's Switzerland, though. Here's Switzerland in the middle. In the middle. Switzerland trying to get a shot. No joy. Plenty of Brazilian players back. That was nice, though. Ball goes over to the right-hand side. It's whipped across the goal. And the Brazil defense had to make sure that they got that clear. Little warning sign for Brazil. Little warning sign. And Switzerland also showing that they are a tricky side to get a result against. So well organised. Switzerland have got the ball, trying to move forwards. Almost 10 minutes gone in this second half. Trying to turn there, no joy. Ball in the middle, gets knocked back. Ball being played forwards, passing it around. And Bolo comes over onto the wing. Here's Switzerland. Shot comes in, but it bounces off a Brazilian player by Rodriguez. And Switzerland are the ones that have actually upped the intensity a little bit now. Plenty of cheering, shouting in the crowd from the Swiss fans. It's going to be a corner to Switzerland. And this game feels like it's gone up that gear that was much needed. Much needed. Here we go. Alisson shouting in goal. Fair few red shirts in there, but there's a lot more yellows. Bad. Too close to the keeper. Not back in, though. Up in the air and straight into the hands of Alisson. Nothing comes of that. Nothing comes of that. Alisson launching the ball forwards. Again, gets brought down. Here's Brazil. A little bit of space to operate. This is the problem. Are Switzerland just going to leave themselves a little bit too open if they are pushing forwards? Looks like it's going to be some changes. Looks like it's going to be some changes here by Switzerland. So Switzerland just looking to make a few changes. That ball going down the left-hand side. And goes straight out of play. If you want to have one retired player play at this World Cup, the young version, who would it be? I would like to see Ronaldinho play alongside Neymar, says Easy99. I would have... if I could have one retired player play, I would have... I don't know, that's a really good question. Because I'm thinking, like, with France, you could have the likes of Zidane, who was just fantastic to watch. But to be honest, because he never played in the Premier League, because he didn't play in the Premier League, like, I know he was amazing, and I saw him in the Champions League, but I've got way more affection for people like Henry, Ruud Gullit. Ball in the middle. Oh, Vinicius Jr. dinks the ball up. It's right there to be put in, but no one could connect on the end of it. And it goes... Do you want a real curveball? Do you want a name that you might not have heard of that I would love to see? I think he played for Switzerland. He's called Turk Ilmaz. Let me see. Kubile Turkilmaz. So Turkilmaz, I remember him from Euro 96. And I really loved him, man. I really loved him. He played 64 times for Switzerland. He scored 34 goals. It's not a bad rate at all, like 1 in 2. Really nice records. And in fact, for his career, he used to play for Galatasaray. He scored 195 goals out of 389 games. And he was just someone that I remember from Euro 96 that really caught my attention. And he was the all-time joint leading goal scorer for Switzerland. But he's a name that people don't really ever talk about. But he was a good striker, a really good striker, and I remember really getting into, because I was trying to learn about Euro 96 because it was in England, and Turkey Elmaz was someone that I really took to, and the same with I think Stoichkov as well for Bulgaria. He was a bit more famous, but yeah, you had Stoichkov for Bulgaria, you had Turkey Elmaz. Oh man, Colin Hendry for Scotland. I know he wouldn't have been at this World Cup, but talk about a goat. Fantastic defender. You could have gone Giggs as well for Wales if you was talking about a retired player. But yeah, you've got Klinsmann for Germany, Henry, Ruud Gullit. Love Ruud Gullit. Ruud Gullit, so good. So versatile as well. Playing defence, playing midfield, playing that holding position. Such a character. But I mean, for pure skill, it's hard to not go with a Brazilian, isn't it? Pele. If we're going to have anyone, go Pele. I'd love to watch Pele, see how he would play in the modern game. Bobby Moore. Could have gone Bobby Moore for England. Oh, Bobby Moore. Imagine Bobby Moore, Duncan Edwards. Can they be dead? Because if we can be dead, then it's opening it up to a whole new conversation. So, yeah, I don't know that I have an answer for you, to be honest. Harry Maguire and Bobby Moore. Yes! Dream team, baby. Dream team. Pele and Hadji was class. Eusebio and Ronaldo. Oof. Did you hear the rumours that Sasha chants drowned out by WWE during Shotzi Ronda? People were chanting, "We want Sasha." Well, you could hear them, actually. I didn't hear that they were drowning them out or dialing them down, but I could understand it. I mean, we were in Boston, and that is where Sasha is from. Edge of the area here by Switzerland. Shot is blocked. Yeah, that was a bit of a wasted opportunity there. Switzerland getting to a great position, but still no shot getting through. The ball is pulled back. Trying to create a bit of space, but nothing coming of it. Ball goes out. It's going to be a throw-in. Switzerland are just really struggling to get a shot off. I'm in school writing notes. Moses Santos, shout out to you. Hope school's going well. At the moment, mate, it's 0-0. It's been a bit of a dull game, but Switzerland now are starting to come back into this. Lovely little turn, and down goes. Is that Richarlison? Referee blows his whistle. Xavi Alonso and Messi, says Romb. Mbappe and Henry. Well, I'm guessing they would have to play for their country, wouldn't they? If Henry was to come back, surely he'd have to play for France. Like Pele and Mbappe, you wouldn't be able to do, for example. Gazza and Harry Kane, you could do. Mbappe and Henry, you could do. Maguire, Bobby Moore, you could do. But as I said, you couldn't do the Pele. You couldn't do the Pele and Mbappe one. I would love to have Hadji. We've not been in World Cup since a Hadji era. Hadji is a great shout. What's your thoughts on this match? Well, first half was a bit dull. This half, we're only 15 minutes in, but we're seeing some exciting moments at least now. I feel like we've gone up a gear. We've just had a few opportunities for Switzerland and Brazil having a chance themselves. Again, we could go any which way with this game. We could have any score. Here's Brazil dinking one forward, but comes straight the way through to the goalkeeper. Gigs with Bale, said James. Tharuka says Pele and Neymar. Ace WWE 2003 said, how are you doing? Who do you want to win if England don't win? I would want a nation that's never won it before. I would want a nation that's never won the World Cup. That's who I would want. Because I think those people, those fans in that country, it would mean so much to them. I mean, it would mean so much to anyone, of course, but, someone like France, they won it last time. Brazil have won it 5 times. Germany have won it 4 times. Spain have won it before. Argentina have won it twice. So, you sort of look at a country like Netherlands, for example, who have never won the World Cup. And that's shocking, isn't it? Netherlands are such a big footballing nation. They've had some wonderful players, but they've still never been able to win the World Cup. So I would go Netherlands. I'd want Netherlands to win. Hello, Days. I am ranked 187, says Hawkins Jr. Welcome, bud. We will be looking at that at the end. And don't forget, if you're playing the fantasy game, you're going to need to make your free transfers tonight ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow is the start of the last round of group games. So you need to make sure that you are doing that. Battle in midfield at the moment. Here come Brazil picking up the ball. Some nice link-up play. There's a few gaps in the defence. Oh, he's through. He's through, and it's in. Brazil score. Brazil score. It's Vinny. Vinny scores. I tell you, there was just... they just switched off for a second, Switzerland. That was all it was. They just switched off for a second. So disciplined. But there was a big gap, and you can't give that much space to Vinny. You really can't. And there, look, Vinny, boom, is off. And there's and he just waits. So Vinny scores. I think, is it Casemiro that plays it to him? I think it is. So Vinny Jr. gets the goal. Casemiro with the assist. That was nice. Oh. There's a VAR check. VAR check. There's a VAR check on the goal here. Got a bit of drama, Ooh, VAR, said Harry. VAR. VAR. Are you doing Raw tonight? We are, yeah, we are. I did mean to get that set up before we started, but I was just doing a few other bits. Is it been given as offside? I think it has, It's been given offside. Wow, we are really going to need to see where that offside was. No goal, offside. Wow. I tell you what, though, that's got to be a lift for the Swiss. I mean, Swiss have got to get something from that. Who scored? No one. No one. Offsides, but we need to see it. They'll show us. Drama in this game as Brazil score. And then it's ruled out as offside. Ball being played over. So cut out by that Swiss defence. I mean, I wonder if Switzerland will just take the point, to be honest. Oh, a point is a point for Switzerland. They wouldn't have been expecting anything from this game. Richarlison was offside, apparently. Richarlison was coming back from an offside position, but was he interfering with play? They must deem it that he was. They've looked at it. Commentators are saying they're looking forward to seeing the replay of that one. Brazil will be hurting right now. Switzerland just needs to get onto the ball, really. Just take the sting out of the game. Switzerland had done so well. They just switched off momentarily, but by the skin of their teeth, they have not been punished for it. They almost were. They almost were. They almost were. If Switzerland lose to Brazil, Serbia only need to beat Switzerland in the last games. No goal. No. Oh, here it is. Here's the replay. So he is offside, but he's not interfering in play. Okay. If Switzerland lost to Brazil, Serbia only need to beat Switzerland in the last game. Yeah, I mean, look, it's definitely in their benefit. Definitely in their benefit to just get a point out of this game. I tell you what, oh, he goes down. Vinny goes down. Vinny is causing problems here. Is it going to be a corner or is it going to be a free kick? Vinny is causing problems. Vinny was bursting down the line. Is Brazil really that weak without Neymar? Even with Neymar, I think they would be struggling a little bit with this, to be honest. I think they'd be struggling a little bit. Switzerland are a good team. I wouldn't... It's a free kick to Brazil. Ball in, headed. Oh, it's cleared by Switzerland. Free kick to Brazil. And they're not able to do anything with it. Ball coming down the line. On that left-hand side, whipped into the middle by Brazil. In the centre, back post. Looks like it's going to go out, and that's going to be a goal kick, I believe. I think that's a goal kick. So tense, man. So interesting. It is a goal kick. They've given the ball away. Brazil pick it up. Playing it down the line. Brazil still putting the pressure on. It's wave after wave after wave of pressure right now. But Switzerland looking to try and counter. Switzerland have got the ball in the middle of the park. Passing it over to the right-hand side, going down the line. Switzerland have still got hold of the ball. We're into the final 20 minutes here. Into the final 20 minutes. Brazil win it back. Play the ball forwards. There's 3 Brazilians against 3 Swiss defenders, and that was the wrong option by Richarlison. That was the wrong option. So Switzerland still on the ball. Come on, Brazil, said Legend Killer. Kian said, do you watch the rugby? Not really. I'll watch it if it's a World Cup or Five Nations and England are in it. Other than that, I won't watch it. Switzerland is a solid team, said Thruka. Ryan Gambler said, morning. What's your prediction for USA, Iran, and Wales, England? Good question. A little turn there by Richarlison, cleared by the Swiss goalkeeper. Predictions, I think that, honestly, I don't know that I see USA winning that game. I think it's going to be close. I think there's lots of political tensions in it. I think that I see England Wales might be a draw. England Wales might be a draw. I don't think I see Wales winning it. That performance against USA didn't fill me with much confidence. England are going to look to respond, but Wales are going to give absolutely everything, so it's going to be very tricky. So I could see that being a draw. Honestly, it could be 2 draws. Could be 2 draws. I mean, I don't want to take the easy way out, but I just think that the teams might end up cancelling each other out. I think USA and Iran are quite close. You know, we saw USA draw with Wales, but we saw Iran beat Wales. But then saying that, we saw England destroy Iran and then struggle against USA. So, do you know what I mean? I don't feel like there's a big gap from what I've seen of Iran and USA. I don't feel like there's this big gap between the teams. Ball is up in the air. And actually, that's reflected in their FIFA rankings. I think USA is 16th, and I think Iran are 20th. So there's not a massive gap in the FIFA rankings either. So 2 teams knowing that they need to win to go through, being very close in the FIFA rankings, both with players that can hurt the other team. You just wonder if they might cancel each other out. And so if that does end a draw, I actually don't know what that means. Here's Brazil going down the left-hand side. You can have a little look at that, actually. So have just a quick glimpse. So if USA and Iran draw, that would mean that Iran are on 4 points, USA are on 4 points. USA would be on 3 points. USA would be out. A draw doesn't do anything for USA. A draw doesn't help USA. Wales, if they win, they would need to... Do you know what? If Wales beat England, then they would go through if Iran and USA draw. I think there's maybe a chance England and Wales might end up drawing, though. And that would mean that basically everything would stay as it is. Everyone would just get 1 extra point than what they've got now. And then it would mean that England and Iran go through. So I'm sadly going to go that way. I'm going to say that England, Iran go through. We get 2 draws, and that's the end result. I hope it doesn't go that way. I'd much rather it be either USA or Wales that go through with England. I'd much rather that. USA have definitely got a chance. But, I mean, look, USA know they've got to win. A draw doesn't do anything for USA, so they are going to go for it. But the only problem is, by going for it, are you leaving yourself open at the back? That's the only concern. Tricky. It's going to be tricky. It's going to be interesting, but it's going to be tricky. Bigger question is who goes through with Netherlands. Ball goes straight out by Brazil. Because it feels like Netherlands are going to go through because they're playing Qatar and they'll surely beat Qatar. Then it means, will it be Ecuador or Senegal? Don't know, but I'm looking forward to finding out who's going to go through. Big high-pressure games coming up. Starting tomorrow. We really do go up a level tomorrow in regards to the pressure and the tension. Do you think it's good to replace Bellingham and maybe Mbappe? Yeah. Mbappe could be rested. He might play a little bit, but equally he could easily be rested because France are through. So replacing Mbappe, I think, wouldn't be the worst idea. Who you replace him with, I'm not sure. Maybe you would look at this Brazilian team because they, if this does end a draw, would not be through. And again, you've got to bear that in mind. Any team that is already through, they are going to run the risk of rotating players. So you do need to just factor that in for your fantasy game. Isn't it crazy the World Cup has only been on for a week? That is crazy. That is crazy. Days choosing the easiest way, said Taruka. Francesco said, I could see Brazil-France final. Tarek said, are you excited for Raw tonight? I am pretty excited for Raw, yeah. I am actually. I am. I think that we should hopefully start to get some new feuds. And if we're going to be getting Becky Bailey, for example, that would be good. And maybe, I don't know, if we start Rhea and Bianca yet, maybe it's a bit soon. But what do we do with Nikki Cross now? What do we do with Alexa now? Austin Theory is the United States champ again, so what do we do there? It's interesting. There's definitely some stuff to look forward to. Harry said, will we get a goal? Well, time's running out, but time is running out after everything that's been said and done. There's been 2 shots on target, both of them coming in the first half. Vinny has been fantastic in this game. For me, man of the match, I don't know what SofaScore says. SofaScore is with Rafinha, 7.4. 7.4. Alex Sandro is 8.1 according to 8.1 for Alexandro. I think Vinny has been electric up front, though. But according to SofaScore, looks like he's given the ball away and not maybe won a few duels and things along those lines. So, fair play. My problem with Raw is that it doesn't have a world champion. I was thinking Richarlison or Ronaldo, said James. Yeah, good picks. It's going to be a free kick here for Brazil. Free kick for Brazil. Deep in the Swiss half. Plenty of Swiss shirts back. Oh, it's a lovely ball. Goes straight the way through to Sommer. Couldn't do anything with it, but the tension is building as we go into the final 10 minutes. Final 10 minutes of this one. Switzerland playing the ball over to the right-hand side, going down the line. Wittmer playing the ball in the middle. Switzerland building something. Nice. Playing it into the centre, completely unmarked, but we've got plenty of Brazilian shirts back. Could Switzerland just find a goal, spring a surprise? Way too much on that. Way too much on that, and that goes straight out of play. This game was going to be hard to live up to the 2 games this morning, said Watson. Last 2 games were fire, but this game has been mid. What US time zone do you use, Eastern or Pacific? Why aren't there penalties? Penalties all come when we get to the knockout round. At the moment, in the group stage, draws are, like, that's a result that can happen. If 2 teams draw, then both teams get 1 point. But once we get to the knockout part of the World Cup, that's when we start seeing penalties. Here is Richarlison, plays the ball in the middle. Ball bounces out. What US time zone do we use? I mean, we use Greenwich Mean Time, which is the British time zone. So it's basically 5 hours ahead of Eastern time. So if ever I'm talking about, like, you know, the stream tomorrow is going to be at 8, I'll quite often say, you know, it'll be at 8 o'clock tomorrow, British time, 3 Eastern. I always just take 5 hours off. Ball being headed towards goal, but straight into the hands of Sommer. Harry said mid is an understatement. Do you think Brazil and Switzerland want to play safe? Brazil haven't really shown that they've wanted to play safe. Maybe Switzerland have played it a little more safe, but they've still been going forward. I can't say that they've wanted to play it safe up until this point. I suppose Brazil could have always gone through the gears a bit earlier. But what they've shown us in the past 15 minutes or so has been pretty good. They thought they had scored, of course, and they've still been looking and pushing. But I suppose pushing with the handbrake on, I suppose. Ball being played forward by Switzerland. It's in the centre. It was going to be hard to live up to the earlier games. Right, here comes Brazil over on the right-hand side. Played into the middle. Being passed around. Nice into the centre. Vinicius Jr. Nice little... Oh, shot and it's in! Is that Casemiro? Casemiro! Right, I'm sure that's onside. I don't think there's an offside there. It's edge of the area. It's out of nowhere. Sigh of relief for Brazil. Casemiro. Smile on the face of Aldo. So, yeah, just a lovely little ball. I tell you what, he's still got, like, defenders in front of him, but he just hits it. It does just take a little deflection. I don't know if Casemiro is going to be credited with it. Ooh. It just hits off Akanji and unfortunately goes in. Brazilian fans kissing the World Cup in the background. Yeah, hard work, man. That's hard, isn't it? 83rd minute. 83rd minute. Heartache and heartbreak. Where are we then? So it is Casemiro that scores. Not sure yet who got the assist. Feel like Vinny was involved, so it might be Vinny. 84th minute. 1-0 Brazil. It's not been a brilliant performance, but as was mentioned in the chat, maybe they were playing with the handbrake on. Either way, they look like they're going to be getting the points from this game. Switzerland have yet to have a shot on target. So, not sure that I could see Switzerland troubling Brazil. They might be able to create something. But at the moment, Brazil are top. Switzerland are second. But, you know, the door is still open for Serbia and Cameroon. Ball bounces out in there. Look, we're seeing celebrations. This would, I believe, put Brazil through, actually, by the looks of it. Brazil would be through. Ball going down the line, because if Brazil lost in their last game, I believe they play Cameroon, is it? So they play Cameroon. If Cameroon win, Cameroon would be on 4 points. Brazil would be on 6, so Brazil would go through. If Switzerland win, they would go through. If Serbia win, they would go through. So, yeah, I mean, Brazil aren't affected. This would put Brazil through. Rodrigo with the assist, actually. Rodrigo with the assist. Let's put that on screen for anyone that's joining late and wants to know what the score is. Rodrigo. Boom. I think Sommer had a chance if it wasn't for that deflection. I agree. Harry said, I love the Brazil fans. Thruka says, finally a goal. Here come Brazil again. Here come Brazil again. Edge of the area, trying to find a way through. Switzerland getting the ball. Launching it forwards. And it's loose in midfield, but picked up. This game feels a bit more open now. There just seems to be a bit more of a zip in midfield. Here come Brazil again, going down that left-hand side into the centre. Brazil taking a shot, and I don't know if it was saved. I think it might have been. Yeah, they have just upped the tempo here. I think it was a save, and I think it's going to be a corner. Yeah, he does get hands on it. So that was a save. It's going to be a corner to Brazil. Here's Brazil into the center. Casemiro, edge of the area, edge of the penalty area, takes and it goes wide. Just readjusts his feet there, and shot comes in, but it goes wide. Come on, Brazil, said Legend Killer. Alex Sandro is off. Alex Telles is on for Brazil. So Alex Telles on for Brazil. Had a few substitutions, actually. Anthony on for Rafinha. Bruno came on for Fred. Rodrigo on for Paqueta. Jesus on for Richarlison. So a couple of substitutions for both sides in this second half. Save. Come on, Brazil, said 1 minute wrestler. Okay, we are just a couple of minutes away from the added on time. Don't know how much added on time there's going to be. I'm sure there'll be a little bit. There has been at this World Cup, of course. And we did have the goal that was disallowed. That's going to have some time. We had the goal. There's been a fair few substitutions. So there's still time for Switzerland. Look at the Brazilian fans, though. In fine voice. Okay, free kick to Brazil. It's played into the back post and no joy. Portugal, Uruguay team news is out. Suarez on the bench. Cavani starts, says James. Added time bingo, said Harry. I'm going to go with 7 minutes. Brazil fans will be sambering after this match, said Easy 99. Yeah, they will be, because they will be confirmed through. And they're in fine voice. I gotta say, they've been relatively subdued. There's not been much to be cheering about, in all fairness. Jesus has won a free kick for Brazil. Smile on the face of Swiss players, but they're not out. It's a setback, but I don't know that you can go into a game with Brazil and expect to get anything out of it. They did so well. They're going to be so disappointed. 83rd minute. It is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking for Brazil. But big smiles on the Brazilian fans' faces. They're bouncing up and down in the crowds. It's just like a whole sea of just dancing. It's brilliant. Here's Brazil going over to the right-hand side, looking to whip the ball in. There's plenty of red shirts back there. Goal difference matters. Goal difference matters. Ball goes all the way back to the Brazilian half, and there's no red shirts in there. They're trying to push out and push forwards. We're about to find out how much added time there is. 6 added minutes. 6 added minutes. Ball going down, time ticking away. Still no shots by Switzerland on target. Still no shots on target. Brazilian ladies are the best, said Happy Wednesday. Harry said 6 minutes, I was close. Swiss coach looks like Mads Mikkelsen, said Tharuka. Who's excited to see the GOAT play in an hour's time? Darwin Nunes. Nardi said Brazil is too good. Their bench gets into a lot of teams starting 11s. That's true. That's really true. And that could have been the difference maker, in all fairness, when you can turn to your bench and bring on that sort of quality. Look at those glum Swiss fans. A couple of Swiss fans with suits on. We're covered in the Swiss flag. They had headdresses on as well. Ball coming over to the left-hand side for Switzerland. 5 shots on target for Brazil. Easily the better team. Easily the better team. And actually, expected goals tells us that this is the right score. But there's still about 5 minutes or so for Switzerland to create something. They're going to have to get the ball up there. And there's plenty of yellow shirts in defence. Nice little turn. Brazil are lucky if they win. Ball being played in the middle. Oh, cleared by Brazil. Switzerland are trying. They're getting the better of these final few moments. Still 4 minutes to go. Yep, here comes Switzerland. Into the centre. Cleared by Brazil. Cleared by Brazil. That was tasty. But here come Brazil. Playing it forward. Vinny picking up the ball. Oh, it's 2-on-1. Good tackle. Really good tackle. Really good tackle by Switzerland. Oof. Swiss coach looks like Mads Mikkelsen. A ball bouncing around at the moment in this Brazilian half. We've got 3 minutes to go. And it's going out of play. Yeah, which way is this going? I think is this a Brazilian free kick? Casemiro telling him to get up. You can't do time wasting now. The referees tend to stop their watches, don't they? It's a beautiful finish. Just showing the replay of the goal. It's a beautiful finish. Only 1 goal in the 83rd minute is lucky, says Dave. It is a free kick for Brazil in their own half, being played forward. Oh, lovely little touch. Brazil! It's blocked. It's blocked. There was some beautiful play there, you know. Beautiful play by Brazil. So that free kick was launched forward. It's just flicked on. There's no one marking in the centre. And it's really good defending for him to be able to get over. Yeah, they were all off the bench. They thought that was the second for Brazil. Brazil take a corner. Oof, tell you what, that was tasty. That was tasty. Vinny Jr. was too selfish. He should have passed, said James. Ball coming over to the left-hand side. Play down the line. Lovely turn. Oh, my God. Oh, God. He's so good. Vinny's so good. Bounces off the... off Casemiro. Vinny picks it up. Vinny cutting on the inside. Lovely turn. Plays it into the middle. Cleared by Switzerland. Tell you what, Vinny's got the samba skills in his feet, hasn't he? Trying to cut onto the inside. Nice little turn. Brazil just keeping possession. This is doing nothing for Switzerland. There's only a minute to go. They are really enjoying themselves. Good tackle. Just frustrating, isn't it? Really frustrating this for Switzerland. That should have been 2-0, said Dave. Brazil are about to set a record for consecutive group games where they've been undefeated. Yeah, very good towards the end of this game by Brazil. They did just turn it up that next level that was needed. It's on the ball, trying to get it in between the legs. No joy. Ball being played forwards, brought down into the middle of the park. And that's going to be it with about 10 seconds. 10 seconds or so. And the referee blows the whistle. And that is it. So there we go. Brazil win this game 1-0. It wasn't the most gripping of games. It wasn't the most exciting of games. But Brazil get the job done. Brazil are victorious. Switzerland held in there for as long as possible. Said it would be close. It turned out to be close. I thought 2-1. It's ended up 1-0 to Brazil in the end. Full time is Brazil 1, Switzerland 0. Yes. Right, we are going to shoot off because we are going to start our next stream, and our next stream is really interesting. It's the final game of today, and it is Portugal versus Uruguay. This is number 9 against, I think, number 14, 15 in the world. It's Ronaldo, of course. It's Darwin Núñez. There's some big players on display. But more than that, it's, I think, the last game of this second round of games. And so tomorrow we start the third round of games. Tomorrow we go to another level then. Then we really start to see what teams go through and what teams go home. So, yeah, one more game today. It's a juicy one, so looking forward to that. We're going to start that in about 5 minutes' time. And as we said, Portugal against Uruguay. So appreciate people joining us. I know this wasn't the most exciting of games. I've got higher hopes for the next one, actually. I think the next one could have a fair few goals in it. So I've got higher hopes for the next game. So we will be back in a few minutes' time for that one. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you over there in a minute. Bye for now.